What's up, cinephiles? Welcome back to your number one film podcast in the world. Your go to place where movie loving friends dive deep into the movies we love, movies we hate, and movies we love to hate. Joining us today is my dear friend, Hyun Sa, and we're stepping into a world of secrets, seduction, and straight up deception. From Korea's legendary director Park Chan-Wook. This is a masterclass in manipulation and beauty and betrayal. All the way from 2016, The Handmaiden.
Have you seen any Asian horror movies?
No, I think this movie is my first Korean movie.
Really? Oh, you've seen Parasite, no?
No,
You haven't seen Parasite?
I
Okay.
haven't seen Parasite, and I was talking to somebody and they mentioned to watch. Is Train to Busan also Korean?
Train to Busan is Korean, yeah.
I think this is my first timer.
Train to Busan is a good movie, but I think I like movies that have more background. Like this has a historical background. And I like picking on like the little like details and like the what do you call literature term? Like symbolism.
Symbolism?
Yeah, the symbolism in the movie. So I watch movies that I've already seen like over and over again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I think Train to Busan is more like a
Westernized Korean film.
it's a zombie film. So it's yeah, you see it one time. It's a good like time kill.
Because I was told, have you seen World War Z?
No.
The Brad Pitt? Okay. Because I was told that Train to Busan is a better zombie movie. And the thing with zombie movies is obviously it's like a concept that's been overused, right? So my two favorites would be the Zombieland, uh, you know, angle of it where it's just like make a nice comedy out of it. Or you have something like World War Z where everything is just like tight knit, story flows, there's nothing crazy about the zombies, and it's a very natural progression in the story.
Yeah.
20% was somebody recommended it and was like, oh, this is better. But
Yeah, I know it's very popular, but the reason why I was asking if you've seen Asian horror movies is cuz I was having a conversation with I've made Asian friends recently.
yeah,
Yeah, so I have East Asian friends. When I say
nice.
Asian, I'm talking more like East Asian. And I was saying how like white people horror movies just don't scare me.
Yeah, because they're mostly a over the last couple of years, the whole movie can just be avoided if it's like, oh, the kid doesn't go into the basement,
Yeah.
right? There's no psychological fear factor, but it's more of a jump scare.
Yeah, it's all like jump scares and like I've seen like a lot of movies that are like classics as well, but it's I think I just don't relate with the concepts cuz there are certain things that like people say in Canada grow up, like scary stories that they're told as kids and they get scared in bed. But for me those are very different. So like these East Asian movies are mostly based on those things that I relate with. And the same thing for like sad movies. I don't cry ever when I watch white people movies, but I do when I watch like Korean or like Asian movies.
Wow, that's very interesting. Because I imagine like that plays like a huge role
Yeah.
where something, yeah, like especially for scary, right? It's like, oh, this is like for culture for you. And then when you see like, okay, you guys are scared about a guy who wears a mask and comes with a knife at you, like, just close your door. Don't all of you guys have guns?
Yeah, I'm just like thinking these things the whole time.
What's one of like, I would say like the easiest folk culture from Korea that you can remember?
What culture?
Like folk culture, like, something that's like, oh, like a storyline or something that's used often in movies.
Mm,
Like, I'll give you an example. In India, we have this movie called, I think it's called Sholay.
okay.
And in the plot of the movie, you have this guy who kidnaps the main female protagonist. As in Bollywood movies, we call the heroine, not the drug, but she's like the female hero, and she gets kidnapped by this uh, kind of like a gang leader whose name is Gabbar. And so a lot of movies throughout generation, it's kind of like a reference that is used. And even in India, there was a reference that mothers would tell their kids, being like, go to sleep or Gabbar will come and take you. So kids would be like scared and then go to
Yeah.
sleep. So something that's like referenced a lot.
Nothing specific like that, but um certain things that are like parts of our culture. Like for example, if someone dies, we believe like this is not like a religious it can I guess you can say that it's a religion sort of, but more like a something that everybody who grew up Korean sort of believes in or sort of knows that they follow this idea is when someone dies, their death anniversary, we like make food for them and we put it on a table and we like pray to them and the family gathers together and think about them, and then the family all like goes into a room while they enjoy the food that we made for them. So that's a concept. So every death anniversary they come down to the earth and enjoy the food that was made by their family.
Okay.
So that's like a concept that they use a lot in horror movies, like Korean horror movies. And one more thing is like fortune telling.
Yeah.
So we have these fortune tellers that are basically believed to be possessed by the souls of dead people.
Okay.
And this is like a really widespread thing. Like my mom like goes to them and pays them to like ask them about like my future, my brother's future, the family. So they're basically possessed, and oftentimes when someone starts getting possessed by a ghost, they get sick, like physically. Like they get some sickness that cannot be explained by any medical, like any doctor. Like no doctor can help them. They go to the hospital, no one can fix them, and then they realize they've been possessed.
Whoa.
And they go through a whole ritual to actually like embrace that soul and start their career as a fortune teller.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can like see into the future. So that's I guess it's kind of like a religion, but not like classified officially as a religion.
That would be like the easiest, I guess, the easiest categorization of it. Like, oh, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
religion. But I think it's really cool, and I'm curious. Like, do they dress differently from the general public, and they have like different makeup or something that is like, okay, I'm one of the possessed fortune tellers.
They wear very thick makeup, like red lips. And have you ever seen like Korean traditional clothing?
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
I've seen, even in films, more of like a Japanese traditional clothing, but Korean.
So Korean traditional clothing. So back in the day, obviously there were like colors that were more popular, but now more like pastel tones, like pastel pink, pastel like green, blues are more popular even for traditional clothes. But these people wear the really solid. Okay, I'll give you like that. That they dress like that.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they dress like that, and there's this one ritual that they do
Yeah.
is they can step on a huge knife with bare feet.
Wow. And that's how they
And they
kind of
can-
prove.
Yeah, they can walk on it.
Like, oh, so it's like a big blade and they
It's
kind of
like
like
a-
walk through it.
Huge blade, and that's one of the rituals that they have to go through to officially start working as like fortune teller. So they walk on it. I've never seen this obviously, but I kind of believe that they do because I've just been like,
Oh, yeah.
that's how I grew up.
It,
Yeah.
it blows my fucking mind.
Yeah,
Like, what?
but that's how you know that they're actually possessed.
Possessed.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there a name for it?
Like for like the person or
Yeah.
mudang. Mudang.
Mudang.
Yeah, mudang.
Mudang.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Because we have a similar thing where it's like not. I mean, yes, fortune tellers exactly, but
Mm-hmm.
they dress differently, and it's like we call them sadhus,
Sadhus.
and they're the people who in India you'll find like will be in orange and like kind of usually like naked on the top half, and um yeah, and then they'll do weird stuff like they'll like eat glass or like walk on burning coal and not feel anything,
Yeah.
or they don't shower for like years. There's this one guy who hasn't like put his right hand down ever.
Oh, I think I've heard of something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and these I think this really like affirms the faith that people have in them. Like, okay, they have to be supernatural human beings
Mm-hmm.
to be able to like walking on a sword is not easy, I can't
Yeah.
imagine, like, but yeah, and then they often become like the core premise of like, oh, something's spiritual or supernatural in a movie. It's like, oh, this sadhu's like acting weird in a house.
Mm-hmm. If you watch any like Korean, not that much in movies, but unless the movie is specifically about this concept, but you'll see it a lot in Korean like drama, Korean shows. Because it's like so common. Like my mom goes there, asks about her fortune, her family's fortune. I don't think like all of her friends do. She goes with her friends. It's just like a part of their life, you know?
My mom's also very spiritual in that way. She always
Yeah.
like keeps paying money to these sadhu people, but more like sadhu, they're kind of priests who
Yeah.
like pray to God. And just recently, like last week, she had like five guys over
Uh,
and they prayed for me getting my study permit. And it was
nice.
like a whole week, and she was like, don't eat non-veg, don't drink, and stay away from any sinning.
I'm sure you'll get it now.
I really hope so,
Yeah.
right? And I have a question. This Mudang,
Mm.
do women also do it?
It's mostly women.
It's mostly women.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's mostly women. When you think mudang, the first image that comes up for anyone who knows about them would be a woman. It's men. I've seen a couple like on TV, but they're not that common.
That's actually makes me believe in it a lot more now. Because I just imagine like men are useless, and so not useless per se, but are more likely to be crazy enough to be like, yeah, if I just like walk on a sword, people will like pray to me and like come to me for their
Yeah.
fortune. And because all the sadhus and pandits we have in India are usually guys, right? And I've always been skeptical about it. uh but the fact that, yeah, the ladies, yeah.
I mean, it's something you should be skeptical about because, like if you think about it, you pay someone large sum of money to
Yeah.
hear about your future, and I think anybody who's not crazy would know that that's not like to be believed in like 100%.
Yeah.
And they do like rituals for people too. They give you these pieces of paper that you can put under your pillow if you want something done in your life or something. And they charge you a lot of money for it.
I am literally, since the last, I think, 15-20 days now, I've been writing infinity on a bay leaf and keeping it under my pillow because my mom told
Oh my
me.
god. Like infinity sign?
Yeah, the infinity sign with
Uh-huh.
like one clove and one cinnamon stick.
And you put it under your pillow to sleep with.
Yeah, I have to
And
do it every Friday.
okay.
I have to take the one that was there throughout the week, take it out, put it in a pan, burn it
Uh-huh.
outside, and then put a new one in. And it's supposed to bring me wealth.
Wow. It's amazing how like cultures have these similar things.
That's always been like a intriguing thing for me, especially about
Mhm.
like religion per se. It's like everybody has kind of like their own definition of like, oh, this is what God is,
Yeah.
right? And then now having like, oh, we all have like, these people who are like, I'm one with the Lord,
Mm.
right? And I can tell you what your future is gonna be like. And yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I was actually watching a YouTube video about someone who just got cancer, like on the way here. And one of the comments, like it shook me because it was like, congratulations, you're going to be with God soon. Like you're going to die soon. But it's a good thing because you're going to be with God. And they really believed it. Like I could tell.
That sort of blows my mind about I don't know if hospice is the right word, but it's like those organized deaths where they get somebody come in and then you have all your family come by and then you kind of
Mm.
they give you an injection and you die.
Oh, like
Controlled death, I guess.
like in Switzerland, they do that.
Switzerland, they have
Assisted suicide.
assisted suicide
Yeah,
pods. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There was also a Korean show about it recently came out that I saw.
Wow.
I forget what it's called. I watch all of these in Korean, so all the titles that I know are in Korean.
I heard somewhere that the one that they were doing in Switzerland, there was this company that was kind of like owns some pods and they were doing it. And allegedly, they were just suffocating people inside. Where they were, instead of like, oh, you go in and we give you this injection and you kind of ease in through the pain and just die,
Yeah,
they would just close you in a tank and leave you in there till you suffocated to death in a painful way, which I imagine would be painful, just gasping for air.
that actually came out to be true.
I never read into it, but I remember
Okay.
reading an article. But I had one of my friends' girlfriend's grandmother here in Canada have that, where they had like an assisted suicide, where like a healthcare professional came and sent them away.
I think that's a thing that's legal in Canada too.
Canada too.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. I mean, it's better than being in a hospital connected to like, shitty food and all these things, and you kind of go out on your own will. But it's also crazy to be like, hey, I'm kind of done with being sick, so sayonara.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
It's. I just can't put myself in that position, where I just like lose the will to live. But that's different. You can lose the will to live, but you can also know that you cannot live because
Yeah.
you're not living. You're just existing.
Exactly.
So if you're not, and if you're in that state, you're not even like giving up anything because you have nothing.
Totally. Like a lot of like I feel quite a bit about like say dementia, and a lot of diseases that we have on our planet, where it just leaves the person like 75 years old, and now they just they're not there anymore.
Yeah. I was asking you if you've seen that guy from Euphoria, because I read that today that he has ALS now.
That's a bad one.
It is a bad one, and I feel like that's like one of the worst ones because at least with dementia, like you're losing your mind, right? So you don't know what's going on. But
Yeah.
with ALS, you're there till the last minute, like your mind is intact.
Yeah, but your body just starts
Exactly. Like just
go-
imagine like being trapped in your own body.
That's I think one of the places where I would like tell my kids like, hey, can
Yeah.
you just
Call someone.
yeah. Yeah. Or dress me up fancy so I can pretend to be a fortune teller. Yeah. Just
No,
go
people
around,
pay you.
right?
Yeah, if you're like about to die.
Right. And because in India we have this thing where these fortune tellers, like people pay them, and it's not just one person, right? It's like so many of them, and we've had stories of like Steve Jobs going to India and meeting one of these guys,
Huh.
and Bill Gates going and meeting one of these guys, Tom Cruise going and meeting one of these guys, and it has built like credibility of these things of like,
Yeah.
oh, Steve Jobs got the idea of Apple after he went to India and found like inner peace. And then this has a YouTube channel now, and he's like, yeah, if you get like touched by my hand, you'll have like a different perspective, and you'll unlock the cheese in your body that's gonna allow you to like look with a bigger perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very confusing, shocking, scary, everything at the same time. But I'm really glad to know that it also exists in other cultures.
It honestly makes me believe it even more a little
Right?
bit.
Like maybe I'm the stupid one who's fighting against it. Maybe I should
Yeah.
go for
Nah, I
better.
don't even fight against it. I kind of believe it.
Gotta believe it.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
think these things exist like in the world in general. They're
Hmm.
just like referred to as different names in
Yeah.
different parts of the world, but like totally I think these things exist.
Discovery used to have a channel called Taboo, and it was basically about things like these. It would like pick like
Mm,
random people or groups of people
yeah.
or just single people and be like, yeah, these are things they do, and it's like kind of odd out of the blue, but this is what it is, and this is the meaning behind it. So it would be like always pretty interesting to watch, and I would always be like, that's one crazy person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be near it. And then you're like, holy shit, Steve Jobs, the guy who made iPhones. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's the guy to go get some wisdom from.
Yeah, I mean he's probably smarter than us.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, so going back to Korean movies,
Hmm.
um, this one, The Handmaiden. How many times have you seen it?
I think twice or three times now. Probably three times. Yeah. I saw it when I was younger. Do you know what year the movie is from?
It came out in 2016.
2016. So when it came out, I saw it at the cinema
Oh wow, nice.
and I saw it again like a couple of years ago. And I think I saw it one more time like this year
Yeah.
with Amish.
Have you liked it more every time you've seen it?
I discover more things every time I see it. Yeah.
Discovered more things.
Yeah.
Nice.
The first time the first time I was kind of wowed. I was like, "Oh my god, all these twists."
Hmm.
And then the second time I was a little bored. I felt like it was a little too long cuz knowing what happens, like knowing what the biggest twists are in the movie,
Yep.
and it has so many like these like detailed elements that
Yeah.
they spend a lot of time developing. So I was kind of bored, but then the third time I was really paying attention to everything. So I was like, wow, very interesting.
I saw it twice as
Mm.
well. I usually do when I want to do a movie for the pod. And yeah, the second time was a lot. Okay, I know what's gonna happen. So the impact of those twists were a lot less.
Yeah,
Um, but it was really cool. I mean, it's a long movie,
it's
like
so long. Yeah,
2 hours, 24 minutes,
yeah,
something like that. And anything, because for me, I think because I look at movies as less of like, okay, I want to sit down and like really use my brain here. I
mm-hmm.
like to like, okay, brain's on holiday, I'm gonna sit here, watch something random. And usually it's like 1.5 hour movie.
Yeah,
2 hours is usually what like Bollywood movies are like, because they have those songs and everything.
yeah.
So this one was like a really slow pace, just things happening and then twist.
And it's divided into parts, so I think it feels like longer.
True.
When they show like part one over, now it's part two.
Yeah.
It feels like I've seen a movie and now it's a different movie.
I mean, I can imagine like if they would have made it in like 2025, they would have just made it into like a TV show. And
Yeah, very
then
possible.
part one, part two, and part three would have just been like 3 seasons
Yeah,
for the drama.
I can see that. Probably not though, because it's like the parts are all like the same sort of time frame, but
Mm-hmm.
from different perspectives.
True.
So I think it'll be a little boring as a show. Yeah, but I like the way it's structured. I think it's clever to show like the different perspectives
Oh, yeah.
because there are some scenes that repeat in the different
Yeah.
parts.
I think majority of this, like it's all of it, it's the same
Mhm.
scene that happens. Like her going and being like, okay, I'm gonna go look for mushrooms,
Yeah.
and it's like they all happen on all three perspectives, but then it's like one extra scene and one extra like scene not being there
Yeah.
is like each person's yeah, perspective that you get, which is really cool because it's like, oh wait, I didn't have this information before. Did you watch the extended version?
I don't know what the extended version is.
So I watched it on, it's on Apple TV. I watched it on this website and they had the extended version and I think it's like 20 minutes more.
I think the first time I saw it at the cinema, so I wouldn't imagine it's the
Yeah, not
extended
at the
version.
cinema usually.
Yeah.
Do you remember how the movie starts?
No.
No. Okay, so do you think do you remember as it like she is already at the master's house?
No.
No.
She's at the start of the movie, she's with her family of thieves.
Please handing over the baby.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
one of them is like, I wish I was the one going to the Japanese house,
Yeah.
right?
Is that the extended version? Do you know?
So that scene is there.
Okay.
What I read about it was that in the extended version, there's this extra segment of her driving in the car.
Huh.
Uh,
Wait, did you watch the extended version?
Yeah, I watched the extended version. So
Okay.
apparently, that extended version just has a lot more, like one or two scenes here, which are just more for the director to kind of just like add, like, oh, this is also because what I saw and kind of read about was this each scene is kind of like supposed to be like an artistic view and a painting,
Yeah.
and those scenes like there's some really cool shots of like the car driving, for example when they're going from the count and hideko
Hideko.
hideko
Yeah.
getting married,
Uh
right? And
huh.
they spend their first night together,
Yeah.
and then they're driving to the nut house.
Yeah.
So you have that angle of like you just see the wheel and the car is driving. So it's like a lot of those scenes that are there, and I think that's somewhere where I felt like the director did such a good job of like, wow, this is really nice to just look at.
There was also the scene I remember. I don't remember in much detail, but Suki is peeking through a hole on the door
Mm.
and she's watching the girl. And the scene kind of the transition, it's like her watching and she's like peeking like that, and the camera moves and you see like what's on the other side. I feel like little like moments like that, I can see where they put a lot of detail into how like everything transitions and
Yeah.
changes.
So I'm not a history goon, so I don't really know the history. But
Yeah.
what's the? Because I remember, like, all I know is like during World War II, the Japanese were part of the Axis, right? Like, and on Germany's side, and then Korea was like more on the Allies side. Is there like a lot of history that's between the Koreans and the Japanese, and were Japanese
Oh,
kind of like colonizers?
so much, yeah. So at the time the movie is based on, Korea was colonized by Japan.
Okay.
So now the house that we see a lot, the Hideko's house, and Hideko and her uncle's house. So her uncle is actually Korean. But it's like colonialism. You have the high class people wanting to be more like the Japanese so that they can still fit in the high class, because Koreans were looked down upon at the time, right?
Yeah.
So her uncle was one of those people that wanted to be Japanese. So we have the how, like you said, the architecture is Japanese and Western, and we have now Japan as a country was westernizing very fast.
Yeah.
So Japan is becoming more like the West, and Korean high class is becoming more like Japan. So we got the
Oh,
mix of Japan and West.
because that's always been something that I really like about shows. Like, for example, Godzilla. Like, Godzilla was an idea that the Japanese people created to kind of tell the following generations about the atomic bombs that got dropped. Like, oh, this level of catastrophe, it was like a monster who did it. Similarly, I've seen this in a lot of animes. I think I've not seen a lot of animes, but this is one called Code Geass, where it talks about how Japan is being colonized, and they have this whole like, oh, like we need to find, become the Republic of Japan and like fight all these like colonial power coming and taking in. And I don't think I've seen like a lot of Korean or like Korean history being kind of mentioned.
The dynamic between Korea and Japan is still something that causes a lot of like conflict
Hmm.
between the countries, like politically.
Yeah.
And like I grew up learning, like Japan is bad pretty much.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't say they're bad, but
But the general
they
consensus in like school would be like,
yeah, like they did
get
this
him.
this to us. They, killed all of these people, and we have
Yeah.
these freedom fighters that rebelled against them and they all got killed kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of movies based on that era.
Based on that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a lot similar like how India and Pakistan we have it.
I don't know that much about like what happened between Pakistan and India. I would say that so I wouldn't be able to compare to that, but I would say it's more like what you described earlier about the movie Kneecap
Hmm.
and the English and Irish.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that story felt very familiar. We've had that too, yeah.
Okay. So Japan kind of like shook hands with the bigger colonizer and kind of colonized Korea.
Japan was the colonizer. We were forced to speak in Japanese in schools. Yeah, learn with like Japanese books. The Japanese came and basically conquered the country. Everything was basically Japan.
Japan.
And if you know Korean, you know that a lot of the words that we still use are basically a Korean version of the word in Japanese.
Historically, do you know which culture or like which came first, or did they own were like individual cultures that started out and then one came over?
There are individual cultures that started out, and during the World War, Japan came over.
That was awful. Like imagine,
Yeah.
because yeah, when you come and told like, okay, you gotta like speak in this language, and everything doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and a lot of people were also killed,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people lost, everything that they had done for their lives. There was also a lot of issues with like sex slavery that are still ongoing issues. Just because it's pretty recent.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, the World War II itself is like not super long ago, right?
exactly. So they took a lot of Korean like young women as sex slaves for the Japanese soldiers. And some of them were alive till until very recently, like the past couple of years. And so there's a lot of political issues with these ladies demanding an apology from the Japanese
Yeah.
government and them not reciprocating, and it just becomes like a political issue between the countries. So it's very much ongoing. Yeah.
When you first saw the movie, because that was my first thought when I saw it, and the movie opens with like one of Suki's friend or family member, what it seems like, because they have all these like babies with them, right? Being like, I wish it was me who was going to this Jap's house, and my thought immediately went like, oh, this movie's gonna have like a touch of colonial history to it, My question would be, did you have the same thought? And B, was there more that I might have missed other than just like when the masters spoke, they spoke in Japanese while all the servants spoke in Korean?
Um, I would assume there's definitely stuff that you missed. I did think in the beginning of the movie when I discovered the era that it's based on, that it's gonna be more directly related to the colonialism and just that the state
Mm-hmm.
of that time period. They didn't speak directly about it, but I could see how they used it to deliver the message, like the
Mm-hmm.
director. First thing is the uncle of the rich girl,
Yeah.
Hideko. No, yeah, Hideko.
Hideko's uncle, yeah.
Hideko's uncle.
Yeah, what's his name?
I think it starts with a K, right?
Uh, Kozuki.
Kozuki, yeah.
Kozuki. Uncle Kozuki.
Yeah, so you can see parts where he's trying very hard to be Japanese, to fit in the rich people's circle.
What like a few things like his mannerism or his clothing? What is it that?
Large part his house and the way his like house, and he had his servants also speaking in Japanese, and when they spoke Korean it was like they weren't supposed to, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And that was like they were putting in the effort to be a Japanese household. And I think they intentionally made Hideko a Japanese girl. Like she is Japanese. Like she's
Yeah.
a Japanese girl. Cause they're portraying her as, it's long explanation. I'm trying to simplify in my head.
Or you can give the long version. Either way, which is easier.
Okay. So you can see like throughout the movie that they're making her out as someone who's oppressed, right? She's
Mm-hmm.
reading these sexual, like erotic stories for these men, and she's basically used by her uncle to make money for him by being the image of the woman that he wanted her to be. And in real life, she's actually Japanese, which at the time she should be in a higher position than him because she's Japanese but he's Korean. And this is based on a period where being Japanese meant a lot. So now you can see from the fact that she's actually Japanese but is being oppressed, that she's okay. So this is so complicated.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah, complicated. Like I can imagine, like there's a lot of like layers.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
okay, what I'm trying to say is that there's two layers, which is one, the colonialism,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second layer is the gender. She's a girl.
Yeah.
She's Japanese, but she's a girl. So she's in a position where even though she's the colonized, she's her nationality is the colonizer.
Yeah.
She's a woman. So she's basically bought by her uncle to do all of these things for him, making money for him, and basically trapped in this house doing everything that he wants her to do. And so it gets very complicated now because I watch it, and when I hear in the beginning of the movie that she's a Japanese girl,
Yeah.
I imagine that she's not going to be the victim.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So that was unexpected for me,
Yeah.
that she's the Japanese girl in the movie, and everyone else, all the other main characters are Korean. Like the con man, he's Korean,
Korean.
trying to act like
Right.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Suki is
Korean.
Korean.
Uncle is
Uncle is
Korean.
Korean.
Only her and her mom, I think, are the two
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even I think the what about the Miss Whoever that lady was, the one who shows up in the beginning and kind of shows her around, like shows Suki around, like the old lady.
The servant? Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other Japanese, I'm actually not positive that she's Japanese, but do you remember when Hideko speaks about her aunt who killed herself on one of the trees with the rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she's also Japanese. The lady who killed herself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
so
that's what I was referring as the mother. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. She was the aunt.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Who they said like, oh, she went crazy and then killed
exactly. So
herself.
so as a Korean person who understands like all the history behind like this time frame and knowing all the other stories that I've been told, when the movie introduces the one Japanese girl in the movie, I don't expect that she's gonna be a victim. But they show, especially in part two,
Yeah.
her entire life, she's doing everything for the uncle. And she's very much a big victim. You know, she basically has no freedom
Yeah.
except what she gets at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very complicated. Like it's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
I guess I just
No,
did.
totally. Because until the twist comes on, right?
Which twist?
That they're sending Suki into the nut house instead
Yeah,
of Huriko.
Hideko. Yeah,
And until then, you're like, okay, Huriko is just like this one rich girl who lives in this like rich family, and
yeah.
you don't really know about what the uncle is doing, right? The uncle is just some guy who licks his pen a lot and writes books, and he's selling these books. You have no idea about, oh, there's this like dark energy and like a dark motive of these books, and it's like actually pornography and erotica that he's selling. And not only selling, in the second chapter or second segment, you actually find out that she's actually not just like rich girl in a rich family, but she's being kind of forced and being oppressed by a Korean man who's kind of abusing a Japanese girl, which is his like play of power, and having her do all these things where she actually just gets people to like kind of bid on books that she's not only reading but also enacting in front of like all these counts and rich high class society,
Yeah.
right? So it's really messed up for sure. And that's a really interesting point that you made, that when you go into the movie and you hear like, okay, she's kind of the only pure blood Japanese person, and so in terms of like society, you would have her as being on top of everybody else who is
Yeah.
is shown in this world, but then she's the one who's actually going through the most and being oppressed the most. So yeah, that is pretty wild too. Like I was kind of drawn back into the film because I think one thing I, not to say I had an issue with, was the pacing of the film, where things happened, and because you're already aware when Suki flips the coin to the count that, hey, you gave me a fake coin, and then you're given the exposition of like, oh, everything was actually planned, and Suki, and that first scene that, oh, I wish I was the one who was going to the Japanese guy's house, was actually out of like spite that, hey, I should have gone, I would have had the wealth and riches, because it's, I think, 100,000 Korean wons.
Was there 100,000 Korean won?
Yeah,
Is that the number?
that plus 50,000 each person of that group would get.
100,000 Korean won. Okay, the math is not doing. 100,000 has how many zeros?
100,000 has five zeros.
100,000 has five zeros.
Yeah.
One, two, three, four, five, one. Um, So that's $100.
Yeah, that's kind of how I guess like the currency ratio is. You know, you wouldn't compare it to like USD, but in like 1900, like in 1900, $100 was like quite a lot. Plus, it was like 50,000 each to each member of
Mm.
the family. Because I think what she had to her name was like money and government bonds. Uh, Also, the money was huge. It's like big square cuts of paper. Because you see them when they're at the hotel towards the end, chapter 3, and then you see him lying in the bed and all the money.
That might have been documents.
Maybe those are the bonds, but there were like a lot of bonds.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
imagine like that was the money.
How big was it?
Kind of this size.
Huh.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about money being that big in that time.
in that time.
That would be interesting to see what money looked like.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Now, the fact that we had this twist, like, okay, these two guys are kind of involved and trying to
Hmm.
get at her, and then we get this twist, like, oh, but she's kind of in a really fucked up position,
Yeah.
right? Of being just like tormented, like even without knowing that she's being kind of abused and oppressed by her uncle. I think one thing when you look at it from like say living in a Western society and then you kind of look inwards to that, it's like, oh well, she didn't really have freedom to choose what she wanted to do.
Hmm.
Everything was kind of decided for her, right? There were all these servants who would do everything for her. Even like a servant would give her a bath, and then she had like predetermined times where she would like go for readings. You don't actually know at this point that oh the readings are pornographic, but you just know that okay she's going there reading and it's like oh like a strict time schedule.
Yeah.
And then you have this person who's now being brought in to give you art classes, and so it's like that's I think I was speaking to somebody who's from Japan recently, and they were talking about how like even now there's so much misogyny in the culture, right? That still they don't feel that oh women are capable to make the important decisions, and yeah, not cool, you know. 21st century.
Yeah.
I think that's always like really shocking to hear because I don't know a lot about like Korean or Japanese culture, but from the outside, it always seems a very respectful. Like everybody's really polite. There's not a lot of like what do you call it like plotting against each other.
Hmm.
But then when you see a movie, it kind of gives you like, especially made by a Korean director, it gives you that insight like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're equally fucked up as a society as everybody.
Yeah, in some ways, like being polite comes with being more rigid, I think. Like there's a lot of rules to come off as polite. Like in Korean culture, you need to bow.
Hmm.
And there's also different angles. If you're bowing to someone who's like very old,
Yeah.
you want to bow like
Oh, although lower than
all
they do.
lower. And if it's like someone who might be around your age, you just go like that. And so there's a lot of like these unspoken rules, and I was never like taught this as a kid. They don't
Yeah.
tell you like, oh, if you meet someone who's like very old, like bow 90 degrees. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that, but you pick up on these things. And I think even because of that, for if you're a woman, there's things that you have to do because you're a woman. And if you're a man, there's also things that you have to do. If you are like, an example is my brother. He was recently in the military service doing his we have the thing in
Yeah,
Korea.
it's mandatory to
Exactly.
serve.
If someone's going out for a smoke and you respect for that person, you go with them.
Okay, wow.
And he doesn't smoke, so
Yeah.
it's but they're not gonna like put you in trouble because you don't go with them. But
But it's kind of, is there an expectation of like to kind of like support, or like in respect to the elders, you walk out with them?
respect for elders or respect for someone who's in a higher position than you, higher ranking. You
Mm,
know, military ranking
yeah.
is very important. So things like that, unspoken rules. Um, so similar in a similar way, for a woman to be considered a good lady, like ladylike, there's a lot of things that we have to follow more so than in Western societies where freedom is valued a little more. In our cultures, the rigidity and the politeness is the way to go, right?
I watched a lot of movies growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously I watched like a lot of Western movies, and that was kind of my avenue of learning about culture and norms and things about Western society. And seeing that, in my first Korean film, there are like so many things that kind of play a role and become, oh, these are actually norms and culture practices that are there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure like some of them are, just there even till today,
Yeah.
right? Where you have to kind of, and they're not some things that, oh, this is something they teach you in school, but it's like you'll go visit your grandparents once and they'll scold you like, hey, you didn't bow down enough.
Yeah.
Right? That's rude.
Yeah, you talked about like going for art classes.
Hmm.
And then there were like these readings. Not necessarily in today's society it has a lot to do with gender, but back in the day, even though she is Japanese, but I think a lot of things were also similar at the time. Arts were more for the ladies,
I
like
see.
the drawing, the
Like
painting,
they'll
the
do like
sewing.
basket weaving, knitting, things like that.
Exactly. And while the men went to school to study.
Yeah. Commerce and
Exactly.
business and science.
Yeah. And the way that sort of continued in to today is art going to art classes is important, like extracurricular. Like I went for art classes as a child. You know, when I was younger, I after school I would go for art classes and then I would go for piano
Piano
classes.
classes. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's very much into like the kind of like this main stereotype, which like
Yeah.
when they're young, you have to go play tennis and then art class, and they
Yeah.
do like some
Yeah.
extracurricular activity.
And
Is
then I
kind of,
also did swimming.
yeah, and then you had like, yeah, and it's the, oh, these all classes, so you have a teacher who's there,
Yeah.
right, and will tell your parents if you miss a class.
Yeah, and we see this like similar experience from people who are more like higher class
Mm-hmm.
in Canada, I think. Some of my friends who have like parents who are very well off, they've gone for these swimming classes and these like soccer classes
Oh yeah.
as children. But in Korea, it's pretty much like I can't say everyone, but most people that I know have done at least one of these things, like art
Mm-hmm.
classes. A lot of people know how to play the piano. When I came here, people saw me playing the piano with my very basic piano
Yeah.
and said that I'm very good at playing the piano. But back home, everyone can play it that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's very interesting. I
Yeah.
think the difference of being like, oh, I've seen like now it's more growing trend, and it's something that is, like you mentioned, more prevalent in like people who are well off. The idea and the effort they put into like having extracurricular activities, while in like, because this is, yeah, Asian parents. Oh, do this, you need to be doing more, because you're competing against like all these people around the world. You need to have like this classes, because I used to have a cousin whose parents like got him into like tennis, then he hated tennis, then they got him into like something else, then he didn't like that, and then he got into golf, and then he finally found something that he enjoyed
Mm.
to do. And it's when it's something that, you know, I imagine that it's coming from a place when I have all the resources I need to meet my daily subsistence, like my food and rent and everything, and that is being completed by work. Then I should be putting in time into my hobbies and like having hobbies. uh Whereas like in India we don't have the idea of like having hobbies really, because we have like a very, I guess, more strict of a work culture, where it's
Mm,
like out here 5:30 it's over, you know,
yeah.
nobody's gonna email you. In India at 9 p.m. you're gonna get a call from your boss like, hey, this is a presentation that needs to be made tomorrow. So then you're not really thinking about like hobbies because work hasn't really left you. uh, but okay, now I kind of see where that comes from, and it's always been really cool because I've had like a lot of friends who have told me like, oh yeah, they used to like do like badminton classes or tennis or piano lessons when they were a kid, and I see them play right now as somebody who has no knowledge of music. To be like, holy shit, you're like a musician, and they're like, no, this is like the basics.
Yeah. Like in high school, they made me play the piano for one of their Christmas concerts. And yeah, I played it. And but then there was one person in that school who really knew how to play the piano. But obviously, like, they don't want to have just one piano performance.
Absolutely.
So they have me playing, and then they have that person playing too.
At the same time.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
okay, okay.
Different performances. But I've heard their performance, so I'm
Oh,
like,
you were like, oh shit.
yeah. I'm like, I was embarrassed because in my mind, what I play is just the basic. You know, that person plays like they've actually learned.
I don't think my brain is designed for any sort of music
Oh, you play the
capabilities.
ukulele?
Yeah, barely. Like I learned a few chords. I learned two, or maybe I've lied about it, three songs. But just knowing how to read those music sheets. Uh, Also, I've tried learning the piano, and I just had a terrible teacher, Marcus.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was just like
Was
really
he on
bad.
ketamine?
Huh?
Was he on
No,
ketamine?
no, not that time. This is during COVID. He got a piano because he's a pianist,
Okay.
and he got a piano from a church, and then we had it at home, and I really struggled with like the rigidity in my fingers of like going from one key to another.
Oh, but that's like everybody has that in the beginning.
Yeah, and he couldn't really help me on how to get away from it.
Yeah.
He showed me like, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is
Yeah.
E, and then I asked him too many questions, I guess, and he was like, I give up, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just have to like keep on doing it. Yeah, you just have to do the same movement a bunch of times.
Get the rhythm.
Yeah.
And now I watch like on TikTok, it's like, oh, how to play enough to show your friends that you're a professional,
Yeah.
and they give you like these easy cheat codes, like, yeah, just do B B C D E and just keep doing that, and yeah.
B B C D E. I don't think that's anything.
Yeah, I don't think that either, but I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
Okay, so a movie made in 2016,
Yeah.
uh lots of awesome clothes,
Yeah.
right? The set decoration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was so cool, because they mentioned in the beginning of like, oh, this is like a Japanese house, and it's got like wings, and then it's like half Japanese, half Western architecture. And so it was really cool to have a house where they had those like Japanese doors, but also had those regular doors
Mm.
that opened.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how much this movie cost to make?
Okay, I don't know how much any movie costs. Can you give me some like reference points?
I would say, I'll give you a hint. It's in the millions, and it's less than 20.
Less than 20 million.
Yeah.
When you said it's in the millions, I would assume that it cost a movie. It costs at least 1 million to make a movie.
Sure.
Um, No, there's probably movies that cost less,
Oh yeah,
like the independent ones.
100%. The reason I asked this question is to kind of look at the efficacy of how money is being used,
Okay.
right? Because sometimes you'll have like $250 million movies that come out these days, which is just dog shit. But a movie like this looks very rich.
Yeah.
You know, like the not just the clothes, but like the house, the environment, the library. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is all like created for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the director. My first Korean film, but I imagine like the director puts in a lot of idea. Like, okay, we're gonna have like the flooring like this. There's a lot of symmetry in the shots
Mm-hmm.
that are with the master. So it's kind of like, okay, this is all like kind of like thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always want to try, and it's really funny you mentioned that you're not sure how much movies cost these days, but because most people ask this question, they always answer with that, like, I don't know how much do movies cost. So I would say it's in the millions. It's less than 20 million. Um, yeah, I guess. Yeah, without giving the
19
answer.
million.
19? That's the laziest answer I could have ever
No.
heard. Okay, it's 8.6.
8.6.
Yeah, 8.6 million.
Okay, so you know how much movies cost. Like how does that sound? It costs 8.6 to make this movie.
That is awesome.
It's
To,
good.
to, to spend so little, because on average, I think the worst to worst, I think it's like a 35 to $40 million, yeah, 35 to $40 million
Okay.
budget, especially if it's a studio film. If it's like
Yeah.
an independent feature that somebody's making with their own money,
Mm-hmm.
then it's obviously like a lot lower.
Yeah.
Even then they're able to get grants and all, but when there's like a studio that's making it, so it's a lot higher.
I want to see where they filmed this. If
uh,
it's a studio, do you know?
I don't know if it's a studio, but I know it's filmed in Korea,
Yeah.
right? I imagine there are some scenes that they've built sets in Korea, but yeah, because the house, I don't think something, I mean, it's very possible something like that exists and then they just go do it on a location.
Oh, actually, a large part of the movie was filmed in a temple in Japan. Actually,
Temple in Japan.
yeah,
Wow.
which makes sense because they wanted to show the Japanese architecture, I
Hmm.
guess, because of colonialism at the time. Yeah, because they've during that time a lot of our buildings were sort of rebuilt to have the Japanese look, but they've been rebuilt
Oh, okay.
back to what they were.
How different, can I ask? Like, is it like still the? I mean, now I guess like the modern day apartments kind of like all look the same, but like the traditional house, is it like the same wooden sliding doors and yeah, all wood?
Wooden sliding door. Like, are you asking between Japanese and
Mm-hmm.
Korean? Like, are they much similar?
Yeah.
If I see a house, I will know if it's Japanese or Korean, and most Koreans or Japanese, I'm sure, would know.
Okay.
To us, it's very obvious.
Very obvious.
Um, but I'm sure because of like geographical location, there's probably similarities.
Yeah. What is that?
Um,
I guess my question would have been like the main thing that you kind of look and like, not it. That's not Korean.
it's the feel.
Okay.
Let's see.
Because then I'll have like a picture for people to kind of just like look at. Mm. We're like, oh yeah, this is the comparison. You guys can guess which is which.
Yeah. I think it's the roof, but I don't know how to describe it. The Japanese roof. Yeah, I really wouldn't be able to describe it, but
But you'd know.
I just know.
You just
Yeah,
know.
it's one of those things. I just know.
That's pretty cool. Honestly, looking at like a $8.6 million budget, I think it's really cool. From what I've heard, is it's kind of the average budget for Korean films that are being made. Because obviously Hollywood is crazy. They spend a lot of money,
Yeah, so much.
so much, and not always the product is equivalent. And that's kind of why I started digging into this segment of like, oh, if they're spending this much money, what is the return they're getting out of it, right? Because if it's a good film, like this movie came out and then it was automatically like one of the top films in Korea,
Yeah.
right? It blew up immediately. People loved it. It got nominated at the Cannes Festival. It also won a BAFTA. Um, it also got re-released twice. It got re-released in 2019 and then 2022.
Damn.
Yeah, and so I think that was pretty cool. I feel like that's pretty much a big what do you call, what's the word? Big, kind of like a seal of excellency for film, that oh, if they're the people are willing to like accept the love of it again and again, so it's like always nice.
Hmm.
Do you want to guess how much money it made?
So there's a rule of thumb in Korea for like really, really good movies is having 10 million, 10 million, what do you call it, views at the
10
cinema?
million views at
Yeah.
the cinema. Okay.
Yeah, 10 million. 10 million is, wait. I'm just trying to change the Korean number to normal. 천만. 7 zeros
7 zeros.
is
That's
10 million. Yeah,
yeah. That's
10 million. I know that this director has not yet had a 10 million. Okay, but you're asking in terms of money.
Yeah, like say if it's like a $8.6 million movie,
Yeah.
it made cost to make. How much do you think that? Yeah.
So if this movie had like maybe like less than 10 million, so like 8 million, it was a pretty big movie.
Yeah.
So 8 million people went to the cinema to watch this movie and paid $6 to watch it.
Yeah.
48 million.
48 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy math, it's somehow kind of correct. It's, I think, 38 million.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got there, but that worked. Um, and out of 38, 36 million is all from Korea itself. Like it's all generated at home, and then 2 million in the States and Canada.
Yeah. I think I gave the estimate of 8 million viewers, but that's probably an overestimate because this was a 19 plus in Korea, I remember.
Oh,
It's got a lot of those intimate, like,
yeah,
revealing
yeah.
scenes. Yeah, like
It's
the.
nothing less than a really intense porn.
Yeah.
At some points.
Yeah, and there's like homosexuality.
Yeah, which I can only imagine. Like, yeah, that is still taboo.
Oh, at the time it was like really talked about.
Yeah,
But all of this producer's movies are like that. I'm telling you, like you have to watch Old Boy.
Park Chan-Wook.
Yeah.
Right, he's and he's known, like that's his kind of like signature of like kind of combining of like brutality and then love and kind of, oh, like there's always like a hint of deceit in his work.
Yep. Old Boy definitely has those elements, and he has a new movie coming out too. No Other Choice. It's a thriller, I think. Yeah, it should be coming out in Canada in the next month or two. Yeah, it's already out. I know they were at the Venice movie
Festival.
festival.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cannes. I think it's Cannes.
No, I think it's called
No.
the Venice movie
Oh,
festival. Yeah.
Venice Movie Festival.
I
Okay,
think
Vienna.
Cannes isn't Cannes in
In Cannes.
France?
Yeah, I
Is
think so.
Cannes
Yeah, I
France?
think
I
so. It's
think
the
so, yeah.
French Film Festival.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's honestly my goal is to, I think my first block of growth for this podcast would be to go get space at VIF, the Vancouver Film Festival, and kind of just go there, talk to people, what movies they're making.
Pretty sure they're at the VIF this month or this month.
This month?
Yeah, this month.
Okay.
I was trying to book a ticket because I'm really excited about the movie.
Yeah.
But it was sold out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna apply for like to get on their media roster,
Mm-hmm.
but they have this question of like, hey, how many followers do you have? And I'm like, nobody.
But you can still submit.
Yeah, I just got demotivated and then I was like, I'm gonna get 100 followers and
Yeah.
then submit. And yeah, because I think the director, for me, there are parts of the movie that I didn't enjoy, but everything the director has done in this movie has amazed me. Like from the decision to choose the angles, the way he's have the characters portrayed. Um, there's those scenes where my first thing I picked up on was like those mirror shots,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you kind of see like each person kind of like looks, you see them in the mirror and you kind of see their front and back, and you kind of really feel a lot about the character. And it's like whenever they're being deceitful, there you see them in the mirror and their reaction of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
There is a scene that's in both part one and two, and it's when the two girlies um are intimate for the first time
Hmm.
with each other.
At the in the bath.
Y- Uh, is in the bath scene is when with the teeth or
Yeah, where she's sucking on the candy, and then she's like, "Oh, my teeth like bites," and then she comes and wears that metal thingy, and then rubs.
yeah. I think that's a different scene. Let me just.
But yeah, bath is the one with the teeth.
That's a pretty like a symbolic, like a signature scene in the movie, like that's talked about a lot.
Yeah.
The one with the teeth.
So does that have like any symbolism to it?
Not any, not that I know of in terms of any like hidden meanings or anything, but
Hmm.
it's a pretty significant moment in the movie because it's one of the first moments where they sort of have that
Connection.
realization
Yeah.
that there might be something, or it might be more like after they've had that realization they confirm from
Yeah.
that moment.
Because when you see it in part one, uh, she doesn't. You don't really see Hideko telling Suki to join her, and then Suki kind of takes her thing off as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then in the second part, when you see Hideko's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you see her asking her to join in, and then she does.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Uh, Also to note, that was mark 20 minutes into the movie when you first see boobs.
Oh, is it like 20 minutes?
20 minutes in, I was like, whoa, that has to be a record somewhere.
Yeah, his movies are also known for having a lot of these like revealing
Revealing
scenes.
scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of nudity.
Yeah. Because I always have troubles
Mm-hmm.
uh, with too much nudity in cinema. right? Because I think it kind of takes away seriousness,
Yeah.
right? And it's like something I really felt with like Game of Thrones was like, okay, I see how it is like an exciting point that people are like, oh my god, we're gonna see like boobs and like intercourse on screen,
Mm.
right? But I'm watching a movie. I'm not really looking forward to like people fucking, right? And yeah, even in this movie, there was like times because I've seen like movies like this before. There's this like French movie called Blue is the Warmest Color.
Okay.
Uh,
I think I've heard about that movie.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like the premise is the same. Where
Mm-hmm.
like there's this one girl who's in art, and then she meets
Yeah.
another girl who's also in art. Obviously, have no relations to like all this colonial background and everything, right? And even this movie that he's done is actually based on a novel
Yeah.
called Fingersmith,
Yeah.
and it's based on a Victorian setting, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like a more actual like English people, and I think they made a TV series about that too.
Yeah. That I read that actually today, that it was based on a book that was based on the Victorian era, and I was more impressed once I read that, because he turned that into a mix of like Korean, Japanese colonialism and a bunch of
Yeah.
a lot of like dynamic elements in it. But the scene that I'm talking about is when Hideko is like, she doesn't really know how things work in
Oh,
like
the first time they
intimacy.
actually hook up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hookup is
Yeah.
the word.
Okay, okay. I thought, I mean,
They
if,
fuck.
yeah, okay, yeah. Because I think being intimate, like, being in the bath, I was like,
Yeah.
that's really intimate for a
Okay.
master and servant.
Yeah, I was trying to be
Okay, polite.
polite.
No, you can curse. They were
Okay.
scissoring.
Yeah, they did it.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
The first time they do it,
Yeah.
and in part one, you can really see the director working in that scene, because if you watch the same scene in part one, it sort of gives you like, oh, they like, she doesn't really know if she wants this. She's
Yeah.
kind of curious. She's sort of like an innocent person
Yeah.
getting exposed into this world.
Hmm.
And even what's her name, Suki, doesn't even know, like, she doesn't know if it's okay to show her these things. There's a lot of uncertainty. But if you see in part two, it's more from Hideko's perspective, and it's shown as if like she really wants it, like she initiates it.
Hideko initiates
Yeah.
it? Oh.
So he really shows that difference in
Because I thought it was the other way. Because both times when you see Suki's perspective and then in the second one you see Hidiko's
Hideko's.
perspective, you see Suki being like, when she looks at her nipples and being like, oh, these are so soft. And when she's like, lack of better terms, fingering her mouth for the teeth, right? You see them connect eyes, and then in the first part, you see like Suki also like kind of like lick her lips out of like, oh, this is exciting for her. But that's very interesting. Maybe I read who came on who wrong, but I thought
Yeah,
it was Suki who came on Hideko.
it kind of seems like Suki's more like the dominant side in part one,
Yeah.
but in part two, I felt like Hideko actually initiated it. She wanted it.
Mm.
And then towards the end of that scene, Hideko asks Suki, "Do you know what you've done to me?" Like something like that. Do you know what you've done to me? And I think that moment is like, that comment or that question shows that that was like a life changing moment for her. It's like she's done something to her like as a person.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because just imagining, you know, Sud- Hideko. I always go Sudeko.
Sudeko.
Uh,
Sudoku.
pretty much. That's how it's like woof 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 car car. Yeah.
Sudoku.
Uh, Hideko. Shit, I would have already messed up again.
Hideko.
Hideko. Um, she's been reading all these graphic novels since she was a child,
Yeah.
and she's been reading about like, oh, the soft hairless pussy, and for her to go from there to being like, because one question I had is like, does being in that environment where that's kind of all you're introduced to, like a lot of it was like uh most of the books that are mentioned in the library that we're as an audience introduced to, like, you know, the pictures, or even when her and her aunt are reading, they say like the word for penis, and then they say word for vagina, and then at vagina they both laugh. So I was just thinking that, oh, has homosexuality kind of been doctored into Hideko, and she kind of wanted to explore this.
I never thought about that from that angle.
Like, this all I've been reading my whole life is like, you know.
I guess that's a possibility. I thought of it more as like she experienced genuine sympathy, genuine like warmth from a person for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And that was from a woman, so naturally she
Yeah.
developed those feelings.
Yeah, because she really was deprived of like having that, like, you know what in today's world we call like mommy issues, but like
Yeah.
having the warmth and comfort of a woman in her life.
Yeah, or any sort of like warmth from a
Anybody,
human.
actually. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because everybody kind of was just like trying to get something out of her.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the angle that I thought of, but I think there's a big possibility because she's, you know, you don't want, like, there's a reason why you don't expose children to pornography when they're so young because it shapes them. So maybe that had something to do with her development.
But I also agree with that part. Like, I think it is a combination, if not just one. And I think
Yeah.
I'm definitely in agreement of the fact that with uh, Suki, even though she was acting for a long, like the whole idea was like a ploy to get her inheritance, she also felt love
Yeah.
and warmth of, you know, Hideko, Hidek,
Hideko.
Hideko, and vice versa. And I felt that when Suki says the line where she's like, "Oh, if I had breast milk, I would feed you,"
Yeah.
right? Because she often talked about like, "Oh, when I was in that house, I would like look at this person breastfeeding the babies, and I always felt like, oh, this is something I want to do." And it also got me thinking about like, there's no mention of like the age disparity between both of them, and Suki seems really young
Yeah.
compared to Hideko.
I think in real life
Hideko.
she might be younger.
She is. I think it's like 45 and 39 or 36.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama with that actress,
Which one?
Hideko.
Hideko. I've got the name here. Kim Min Hee.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the controversy?
So she is now living with, or I don't know, maybe they were married, but there's a pretty famous director in the movie scene in Korea, who I'm pretty sure is married. Like they were definitely married at the time their relationship was announced, but married, has children, but got on with this actress or actor,
Yeah.
and they have a child on their way or has had a child. One of those. I don't know. The last time I saw her, she was pregnant with his baby. But we don't really see her anymore in movies since that, yeah. Or anything in general. She's kind of been cancelled.
Does Korea also have that thing? Because in India, we had it for a long time in Bollywood, where once you have a child or like you get pregnant, your career is pretty much over if you're a female actor.
You've got to be like really big shot for it to not affect you negatively, I think.
Mm.
And even if it doesn't, like there are gonna be changes in the roles that you get offered and everything.
Because like,
Because the a lot of Korean shows, like I don't know how much you know about Korean drama in general, but or like romance is like the biggest part.
mm.
So the two main characters are always gonna be the really good looking, relatively young
Relatively
guy
young.
and really, really beautiful girl. And if you are someone who has publicly like had a child, it's hard for the audience to see you in that light anymore.
Ah,
So you get offered more like the mom
the
roles.
mom roles.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because I think I've spoken to you about this before because, you know, Korea is the world capital for like plastic surgeries, right? And so it's not a lot of people know about this, but they have like really crazy standards of beauty, right? And I often imagine because you know every time I've seen, because I don't watch myself, like I've never seen K drama. I don't even think Squid Game counts because Squid Game is like kind of K drama, not even K drama, but it's like Korean cinema designed for like a more Western audience.
Yeah,
It's kind
definitely.
of catered to them.
Yeah.
And this idea of like, oh, everything has, like, even in this movie that we saw, like the Handmaiden, when he tells her, when the count comes for the first time, is like, oh, it was not a bad bone structure for a Korean, and it wasn't easy to find a not chubby one.
It's kind of how specific people in general, I think, in Korea are about describing someone's appearance. Here, I think we say like you can say like someone's beautiful, like
Thick
someone's
thighs,
like
pretty eyes.
yeah, like someone she's got really nice eyes. I don't even hear that much.
Yeah.
It's like they're really pretty. It's very generalized. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they're very good looking. In Korea you would hear things like they have really big cheekbones. They have a really big bump on their nose.
Yeah.
And these are like commonly said descriptions of like people. And you would say it to their face and it's acceptable to make these comments about somebody's appearance. Whereas here it's
Yeah, it's
like
like,
who
no,
gave you
no,
the
no.
right,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And like who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares about these things enough to
Because
say
I
it.
think people do it here too, just behind their back. You
Yeah.
know, they're just like, oh my god, have you seen Britney? Oh,
Yeah.
she's got a fat nose.
Yeah, I guess but that too is like not really common. I've
Yeah.
never heard someone be like, "Oh, like that person that we recently met, they're really nice, but their ears are really big."
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's really weird.
Yeah.
You know, if we went to a party
Mhm.
for Halloween and we met someone and they have a big lip, they have a big upper lip,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
you're like, that person's upper lip was like so big. I'll be like, wow, you noticed that? But in Korea, it's like everybody's talking about it.
Maybe that's the Korean in me. Because
Yeah.
I would tell you, like,
I can see you saying that,
like, bro,
honestly.
like,
Yeah.
you see, and
Yeah.
it's maybe not a nice habit, you know, but it's less out of to like make fun or put somebody down, but it's more out of like, bro, did you notice? Like,
It's just an observation for
yeah, it's
you.
an
Yeah.
observation. It's like for me, it's never like what like a form of judgment that
Yeah.
I'm trying to pass, and that's something that also I find really cool in movies, and something I really stand for is when they show these things about like the female body, the woman perspective, because how society has been structured for the last 100 years. We've been seeing a lot of like male do it, and kind of men coming and telling you like, hey, this is what's been wrong in society and this is what the women have been feeling. One thing I liked about this one is the director of this movie. He works with this lady, I think I have the name here somewhere, uh, Chung So Kyon, and she's like a screenwriter, and
Okay.
she's basically the one who's written like, okay, she took the inspiration of like the book, and this is also the fourth time that she's working with the director on a film. So I'm pretty curious if she's also done any work in Old Boy, because I think that would be
What's her
pretty
name?
cool. uh Chong So Kyon.
That's not a name.
No, it is Chong.
Chung.
Chong. SEO.
Okay.
KYON. No, it is KYEONG. You know what's crazy? When I made my notes, I had to find the correct pronunciation in English for these people, and then I wrote it in like English.
Jung So-kyung.
Yeah. So it like Seo. I definitely said Seo.
That's okay.
Is
I
that the
know.
right way to say it?
Huh?
Chong So
Jung.
Kyon.
How did you write it?
CHOONG
That's not it.
SAWKYON. I know that's not her name,
Do
but
you know you do know my last name is on this, right?
yeah, SEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her like name as well, and then it is KYEONG.
Yeah.
Right, and so but to pronounce it, I wrote it this way.
It's Jung.
It's Jong.
Jung.
Okay, well the YouTube video I watched was
You know
totally
my
wrong.
my name like Hyun Jung. Like my
Yeah,
first name is
yeah.
Hyun Jung. It's the same
Uh,
spelling. Jeong. My
J
name is
E O N G.
Hyeonjeong. She just got the Jeong
Because
and
I went
Seokyung.
on YouTube and like yeah, I did it for like all the characters and all the cast members. I'm like,
Yeah.
to make sure I try and got the pronunciation correct.
Jung Seokyung.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Chong Sok-yeon.
Oh, she didn't work on Old Boy with
She
him.
didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think she does a good job. And the question I wanted to ask kind of was, now that I've totally messed up her name, and another reason why guys suck is, what do you think if the movie did a good job of showing a female perspective?
Of?
A lot of it, the movie is in like very vulnerable positions, so it's like, how do you think if that they've done a good job to actually provide the female perspective?
I think the movie, like the plot itself, based on the time period, I would describe it as idealistic. You know, these are two oppressed women that in the end win,
Yeah.
and the two men die.
True.
So that's probably not very reflective of like real life, what is possible in real life at that time. Um, but in terms of whether he did a good job portraying these women's lives, yeah, I think he did. Um, but I don't think the movie was very focused on like their lives as oppressed women. I think only part one is based on like that oppression and them getting taken advantage of by these men. I guess part of part two as well, like her reading these like stories for these men and doing
Yeah.
these like enacting these stories, reading these stories, and also Suki pretty much being used by this con artist
Yeah.
to try to get something out of somebody else.
Hmm.
And basically that person, what's the name of the con artist?
Count Fujiwara.
Fujiwara.
Yeah. And his actor name, I'm already very sorry. Ha Jang Woo.
Ha Jung-woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ha Jung-woo. He's a very good actor.
Yeah.
Um
And I saw a lot of criticism about his acting, but
oh really?
yeah,
Yeah.
continue your point. Sorry.
Um he where was I?
You're talking about like how he was like super ready to just like throw away Suki,
Throw.
to sacrifice her and
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So he's basically using like both of these women, right? And they're oppressed until, and then the whole movie is about like the process of them gaining their freedom, and they become free basically. So he the director did a very good job of portraying what we would have liked all the women at the time to achieve,
Hmm.
because that is probably a good depiction of a lot of women's lives at
Yeah.
the time, even if
In the 1900s or like 2016?
in the 1900s. Yeah,
1900s. Okay.
2016 not as much. In the 1900s. So like in one way or another, were being used, women were being oppressed
Yeah.
at the time, and it was like the dream for a lot of them to be free and go away like these people did and find true love and find their freedom. Um, but was that a true depiction of reality? I don't think so.
Hmm.
The the background of their life was a true depiction of reality, but what they do with their lives was probably not possible for a lot of the women living in that era.
I had a very similar thought. Like, this isn't really possible in a culture or in a place in time where things were really like bad
Yeah.
for women. So not only having like Japanese women in love with the Korean, but also on the levels of like master and servant, right? And then
That's true.
on top of that, woman and woman,
Yeah.
right? And
I think that looking at the story, this movie was designed to depict that like no, not patriotism, patriarchy, and sort of like the idea of rebelling against it, and the death
100%.
of patriarchy with these two men dying together. I feel like that was very symbolic.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, so I don't think that was like an afterthought. I think that was a core part of the design of the movie.
Okay. Yeah. That's a really cool pick. I like that. Because I did think about, like, okay, well, they're both dead now. And I
Yeah.
knew he was going to die because, like, I think she mentions, or maybe she doesn't mention, but she speaks about, like, even if she tried to leave, he'll come and get her. And then the moment she gets her, like, 1 week of freedom, she goes and gets married.
Yeah.
Uh,
He you know how he like also like it's like a suicide murder.
yeah.
So I didn't notice that the first two times I saw it. I didn't
Yeah.
know why the uncle died. I only noticed that he poisoned himself and the other person in
Yeah,
the third time that I
with
watched it.
mercury vapor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like the reason why I described it earlier as like death of patriarchy is because the moment he realizes that he's been deceived by a woman,
Hmm.
his niece, or I don't know if they're actually related, but he basically had his fortune taken away by a woman, and he feels a need to kill himself.
The con man.
Both of them. No,
Yeah,
the uncle.
the uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the uncle oddly, I was shocked when I saw his collection in the basement that he had, and I think that's a really good point that you pick of like, oh yeah, both of the men in the movie like actually end up dying,
Yeah.
and the two would win. Um, but it was really odd to see how focused he was about how the count kind of slept with his niece. Right, because he kept on asking like, oh, what did you do, how's the wedding night, and then you actually find out, oh, even the wedding night was actually faked, right? And she actually just cut her hand, and it was not like, because I know even in India and a lot of cultures, it's like, oh, like the sign of like a true virgin, and if you're not a virgin, then you're not respected as a woman in that like time era, right? And it used to be like the way you would know is like, oh, if you bleed during your first time having sex on your wedding night,
I think that's even like even today.
even today, yeah, very possible.
Yeah. Like probably with like certain cultures or certain like religions have more of an expectation that a woman should be a virgin. Or I think the idea of virginity they're trying to dismantle.
In this economy, can you imagine?
Yeah, but it's still a big thing. Like if you don't bleed, it's but you say that you're a virgin, but you don't bleed, and it's like, oh, where have you been? Still exists.
uh, that's just sad. That still happens.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we've spoken about how you and I felt about the movie quite a bit. How do you think other people felt about the movie? So we're gonna do like a guessing of the Rotten Tomato scores. So we'll do audience and critics.
Huh. I mean, audience score is definitely higher. That's generally how it is, right?
Yeah, usually, yeah. Critics are usually like, no.
Yeah. Okay, give me like an average.
They're in the 90s.
Oh, for this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the 90s. I thought Rotten Tomato scores like percentages were like lower
No,
on average.
no, and it's so probably say it almost every episode we do, but I don't really like whole Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or any like score, or even because we also give a score at the end of it, uh, as like, oh, this is my holy grail and this is what I judge a movie based on. Because it's critics who are doing it and it's audience members who are doing it, and everybody has their own taste. And oftentimes I've seen that, oh, I'll see like a movie that is, like a lot of like, for example, uh, Jim Carrey movies. Critics will be like, this sucks, right? But then I'll be like, okay, I guess I won't watch this movie because it's not critically rated high. But then I'll go and watch this movie and be like, holy shit, this is actually really awesome. And I do want to watch more movies like this. And so then slowly, as I went along, my whole idea of like, oh, what critics say shouldn't really be your, what do you, litmus test for if this movie is going to be fun for you to watch or not. The only way you
Yeah.
find out is watching it.
I would assume for this movie that the critics score is higher, not higher than like general audience, but higher, like a lot more higher, more higher. That's
Yeah.
doesn't sound right.
Damn.
The
It's too high.
the critics rate this movie higher than most, I would say. So if there is an average score of critics score, this movie would have a much higher score than that score. The reason why I say that is because the things that took me like two or three watches to notice, those are probably people that are watching from the first time to notice those things.
Yeah.
So I would imagine critics rate this movie higher, but general audience, it's pretty long. That's my only thing, and like I think this movie is very long,
This movie is very long.
and if like people are not watching the same movie twice, three times. I did because like I love watching like movies that I enjoyed with like other people. So I ended up watching it a couple more times. But I wouldn't say this movie is like the one of the extraordinarily high
Of
scored.
course. Okay. So I was blown away when
Okay.
you mentioned the movie to me that this is what we're gonna watch initially, like I think a month ago.
Okay.
Because the first thing I do now is like, okay, go and see what the world is talking about. 96% is critics. That's the tomato meter.
Yeah.
Uh, and then 91%
I
is the
was
audience.
right.
Yeah. So the critics actually went higher
Yeah.
for this. And that's usually like always, I think, for a movie.
Oh, is that usually the case?
No, not always. Usually,
Okay.
what you had said initially was
Yeah.
the case where
Okay.
audience will always like say it's like a just a spoof movie or like no storyline but just like a fun 1.5 hour, the kind of movies, entertaining movies basically, where you don't really have to use your brain at all. Yeah, those movies the audience will score like somewhere around like a 60 or a
Yeah.
70%, but the critics will go like 50,
Yeah.
40. There's this one movie we watched early on, which was Holmes and Watson. Critics gave it like a 10%.
Oh my god.
Right? So it's really interesting to kind of just compare different movies and the different scores. And yeah, I was pretty amazed when the critics went, but also I get it because the movie on its own, the cinema, the angles, the shots, the locations that they've seen, the setting, um, it's almost flawless. Like there isn't anything about the way the movie's been shot that I would like to change. I think it does a good enough job of keeping you interested. I found myself, because it's like really long, and you know something, how you were talking about watching Rounders, and you were like, well, the payoff isn't really that high in the end. I kind of felt a lot throughout this movie because I kind of expected everything that is going to happen, and it happened exactly that way. And then out of nowhere, there would be like a twist, and then you would see the twist, and then I'd kind of get engaged into the story again, and then I would like kind of, okay, now the same thing that I was hoping was gonna happen is happening again, and then I'd be like go back, and then the third twist came, and then I was like, okay, I'm back into it, and then the movie ended. So yeah, I think the scores speak pretty well for how the movie actually was.
Yeah, I think it's a piece of art.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say it's less of like, so I call these movies Oscar baits,
Yeah.
where it's less of like a movie, but it's like not really meant to be like, okay, this is just gonna be like fun and entertaining, but like this is gonna win film awards.
Mm, his movies, this director, um, I've seen three of his movies now. None of them are like enjoyable, fun, entertaining, like a relaxing watch. Like you need to fully immerse
So
yourself.
and you really have to like think about the characters and
Yeah.
mm,
Lots of like whether it's a deep like historical background
yeah,
or like a deep plot twist, which this movie has both.
but yeah,
I think it's just the director's like style.
style true.
And the same thing with like Parasite.
Parasite. I haven't seen Parasite, so yeah.
If you see that, you'll see like the way the camera angles and everything like actually contribute. Like that's the first movie where I noticed these things like explicitly, where things
Mm,
like camera angles and the architecture and all of these like little elements actually relate back to the story
mm,
and the message. Yeah, so whether it's an Oscar bait, I don't think so.
yeah,
Probably not a bait,
yeah,
because I think the word bait is more like negative connotation.
yeah,
Yeah, but if you consider like those movies as like high quality,
yeah. Hundred
or
percent.
yeah,
Like they're higher quality compared to your general
yeah,
entertaining movies. Like for example, I would give Oppenheimer.
I haven't seen it, but I know that I have to see it.
Right, that's an Oscar bait. You know,
Yeah,
there's no like, I want to say, I can't even say like there's no creativity in it, but there's no entertainment in it. You know, it's just like a story of like this guy coming up and they'll make it like cool. Then when you watch it in a theater, you feel really awesome. You have cool visuals, and it's very like pleasant shots of like, him smoking a cigarette or something, and it's each scene is kind of written with the idea like this is going to be impactful. In a way, it's like the directors actually worked hard to kind of like, even this movie, I think he had like, they do like storyboards where they're like, I'm gonna shoot this, and so for this one he had like 1,200 storyboards in total for all the scenes. So he really had like a lot of commitment and intention behind everything he chose to did, compared to like, okay, we have some money, let's just make this idea I have and let's make it fun.
yeah,
Right, it was like designed to be uh like Avatar, right? Like Avatar is not supposed to be like you sit down. No, it's supposed to be you sit down and it's gonna blow your mind away with all this like VFX and cool
yeah,
shit,
yeah, yeah.
right? And it's like, yeah, we're trying to win some
This
Oscars.
this director is known to be very detail oriented.
Yeah, I think his work would be really helpful in like film schools,
Yeah,
right? Using his movie as an example. I think, yeah, that would be.
I recently saw an interview with with the actors that were in his like latest movie that's coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just like going on and on about like how detail oriented he is, how many little things that he pays attention to on the
Yeah.
set. And in a similar way, the guy who made Parasite, he's a sociology major. So if you see his movie like Parasite,
Yeah.
you should watch it. I keep talking about it. There's like you'll see the sociology
Oh, behind
major
it.
in that movie. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always in favor of like an artist kind of putting their mark in their work and doing
yeah,
it in their way, and then just leaving it up for people to enjoy. And people do enjoy it, like that's why it's got such good scores. And on top of that, one thing that really got me hooked into this movie, I've been talking to pretty much everybody I've had on so far, and like Oliver a lot, is I don't love when a movie is only VFX and CGI, because we have such like good cameras. Not me, our cameras are like our phones, but movies these days use such good cameras, and everything is made in an artificial environment. It's really unsettling to the eye. Everybody looks like their skin looks too clean, and everybody looks like too too not real. And
Yeah.
it's like the shadows that will form on the edge of a furniture table or a cabinet is very different on like when somebody's made it in like 3D or versus somebody who's actually gone to a house and then
Yeah.
done the lighting to add that. And this movie does such a good job of kind of giving you that physical experience of everything. Especially I found those doors. That's why I asked like question of like, you know, how do you find out like the difference between like a Japanese and a Korean house? Because it's like when they have and they don't have like handles on the doors.
Oh, the sliding doors is a common feature in
Common
both
feature,
Japanese
yeah.
and Korean.
Korean. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
We both have sliding
Sliding
doors.
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so much
So
better
it's
than
it's the frames are wood,
yeah
and traditionally in Korean doors, I don't know much about Japanese, but we have paper instead of like glass.
glass.
Yeah.
You see a lot of details about the house of like the door sliding.
Yeah.
When she gets called in by another worker to come and be like, oh, the count has requested your presence,
Yeah.
right? It's they don't knock.
Wait, you keep saying the count.
Yeah.
I don't know what they refer to as the count in the subtitles because I watch in Korean.
Oh,
Who are you referring to?
count is the guy, the Fujiwara.
Oh, okay. The
Right,
count. Okay, that's what I
right,
thought.
right.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
count is, I
thought.
think, more like a colonial term for people of like kind of like importance. Like,
Mm,
oh, he's a count. He has some land and some houses and
yeah.
money.
I thought you meant the uncle.
Uncle, no, no, no.
So the count has requested her,
Has requested
and
her, and when she comes, she doesn't knock, right? She just yells,
yeah.
and so it's like, okay, that's a cool part of, I guess, tradition, because when you have these sliding doors, you don't really go knocking. Um,
Oh, interesting.
and
Knocking.
she just yells, "I'm outside.
Yeah,
You
that
called for me."
knocking. I don't think is a thing
Yeah,
in in the culture.
yeah. Because I always wonder where my parents got it from. They don't
Huh.
knock either.
I think I see in a lot of like these like shows and movies that are set in the past.
Mhm.
They usually say it. They usually
Yeah,
say I'm here,
yeah.
or like if it's like someone who's like higher rank inside, like I'm here.
Oh,
Can I come in? Kind of thing.
yeah.
But knocking is not no.
I think.
Yeah. But and then she knows that he's a con man, so
Yeah,
he doesn't have rank, so she doesn't care to be like, "Hey, can I come in?"
yeah. True.
So she just like barges in.
I think she waits for him to open the door.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to ploy the plan in front of other servants.
Yeah.
Because you do see that other servants, sorry, maids, I guess is a better, more 2025 term. But
Is it
I don't know.
housekeepers?
Housekeepers, okay. Maidens, now they're royal.
Handmaidens.
Handmaidens. um, but they gossip amongst each other,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then um yeah, before I forget this,
Mm.
the other part apart from knocking was how do toilets work? Because I imagine the walls are pretty thin, and so like the shitting, like would they do they have like outhouses, or is it all inside the house and you can kind of hear?
Um, so I know that when like my mom and like my parents' generation, they had the bathroom outside the house.
Hmm.
So they have the house, and then they have the bathroom, like little room
Yeah.
in their yard. And you go in and you squat, right?
Okay, you've got the flat on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah. Squatter.
And I also know that when I watch things that are based like further back
Yeah.
than this movie, like before colonialism, like the kingdom era,
Mm-hmm.
the royals would have a bowl in their room, and
Okay.
when they need to go to the toilet, they do it in their room, and they have people that take care of
Take care of it.
whatever comes out of their
Okay.
bodies.
Nice. It's like camping at home.
Yeah, but you just don't have to dig. Um, so like I'm not really sure what was like what this time frame fell in.
Yeah. Because I grew up with a few squatters
Yeah,
toilets in my life.
me too. Like my school in elementary school, I had to go and squat.
Mm, okay, our school didn't have.
My school did.
Yeah, no, my school didn't have that. And I'm always afraid of taking a shit because of it. I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna fall in. I don't really have the best ankle mobility as a child.
I wasn't afraid of taking a shit. No, I took a shit. I wasn't afraid of falling in,
Yeah,
but I was afraid of misaiming.
Miss Aiming. Yeah. Oh, trains used to have that.
Trains?
Yeah, like the public trains, like that
Oh,
you would
I
go
would
from
never
city
go
to
in the
city.
train.
Oh, you know why? Because it would just be a hole and then the track, and you would see the track moving,
Oh my
and so you
god.
just kind of shit in the open, basically.
Okay, so I was in Ghana. We were going on a trip, and there was a rest stop. We're talking bathroom, so it's just a random bathroom.
Yeah, go for it.
And this bathroom is just a concrete room with no doors, no walls. The four walls covering it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
And the ground.
Whoa, like
Yeah.
proper concrete ground.
Concrete ground.
So just shit in a room.
Yep.
Whoa, and
And it had the sign that said the bathroom.
and were there like specific places in the room where you would shit, or was it just like free
No,
for all? Just
free for all.
whoa.
Yeah.
So that's pretty scary. Like, do you just walk through shit to go shit?
There wasn't a lot of shit. I don't think a lot of people use it.
Ah,
Yeah. There
whoa.
was there
That's
was no I don't think there was any
that's
shit.
like the cleanest washroom ever.
It wasn't the cleanest, as you can imagine, but
Yeah.
so that's when I realized the benefit of having a hole, because when you pee and it hits the ground, it bounces and gets all over your jeans.
That's
So
my problem with squatter potties too.
yeah,
That I would, especially pooping, because it would plop.
I used to fall into the toilet a lot as a kid. Like when I was young and small, just my butt would fall into the toilet.
Oh, yeah. So since you're sharing embarrassing stories, I got my butt wiped till a really late age.
By your parents?
My mom
Your
specifically.
mom?
Yeah,
Okay, not your dad.
not my dad. And it would be really sad because she would be in the other corner of the room and I would just be like, Ma!
Interesting.
Tati!
My mom didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't remember my ass being wiped.
Yeah. It was like pretty late. I think I'm a late boomer because like I also like used to sleep with my mom and dad to like a pretty late age.
I slept in my parents' room till like 12, 13.
I used to be on the same bed.
My brother was on the same bed with
Same
my
bed.
mom. I was on the ground.
Youngers.
I used to sleep on the ground. Yeah. But with a nice like cushion pad.
Oh yeah, of course.
But the room couldn't have two beds, you know? And the bed couldn't fit three people. So then I just had a pad on the ground and I slept there because I didn't want to sleep in a separate room.
Yeah. Well, I was scared as a child
Yeah.
sleeping alone, so I always preferred.
Yeah. I don't think I was scared. I was just comfortable doing that. Yeah.
I remember me and my parents and like Sahil, we'd all like gone and seen this horror movie called Bhool Bhulaiya, and in that movie we were all so scared that Sahil, we were in this like hotel room, not like a proper hotel, but it's like a motel type. And he had his room upstairs, and it was in Rajasthan, so they have like a lot of like old Indian architecture. So everything is like really clunky locks and wooden doors, heavy doors. And yeah, we were all so scared that we all kind of slept together on the same bed with no space.
That's
But
cute.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty sweet. It was pretty
That's a
cute.
good memory
That's
to
a,
have.
yeah, that's kind of core memory right
Yeah.
there. Okay. Do you have any favorite scenes or dialogues from the movie?
When they die.
The guys?
Yeah, I like when they die.
Yeah.
I like the conversation they have is like so it's just like out like they're just annoying.
Yeah,
And like
especially the guy who, like the uncle.
yeah,
Yeah,
both of them honestly. And that like
Kuzuki.
the whole conversation they have before they die is just like typical like toxic masculinity. And then they die. So it's great.
It's great. Yeah, we're all in love for men dying on screen. Yeah, especially Crazy Man. Like it's something that I find very upsetting, and upsetting things are kind of hilarious to me at the same time. But it's like it's men in positions of too much power, they just do weird things, like him like having his niece read books to all these other guys, and these are all pornographic books and erotica that he was getting and then selling them to them. It's kind of equivalent to like in today's world where these finance bros, when they are like too rich and they're like so powerful, the only thing that gives them peace is like getting peed on by dominatrix or something.
Yeah.
Right, it's always like I just feel like why, like, or something like the whole like pedophilia, like I don't get it. Like, why can't you just blow your money on like regular things like a nice car or big house? And if you
Yeah.
have it already, like, do something, buy a plane, buy a big boat. Go see the Titanic in a
Yeah.
submarine.
I think like in some way though, I do feel like a certain level of sympathy towards them because if I'm put in their position where like this, if look at the uncle, he's a rich person
Yeah,
who's enjoying a high class life, and then the Japanese come, and now he needs to change his lifestyle to gain the respect of the Japanese and to act Japanese so he's respected again.
yeah,
And one of the only ways he finds himself like being able to do that is using this girl and getting her to pleasure the other men in society by reading these stories. And then there's this con man who's like a Korean person but acting like he's a Japanese artist. So they're both in a position where like, and if I was them, like I care about status.
yeah.
So would I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't resort to what they do have done, but I would like to say so. But people do unethical things for different reasons, and
Yeah,
they were in a tough situation too. But still, like I was
yeah.
glad to see them dying.
Yeah, I know, 100%. And it's like unethical things, I'm fine. I think like being corrupt, being evil, being like a power tripping motherfucker
Yeah,
is understandable because, you have too much. Some people get so much influence and power and they don't know what to do. It's like you look at like kid celebrities, the
Mm-hmm.
reason they have such a difficult time is because now billions of people know of them, and billions of people are like, talking about them continuously, online news, everything. So yeah, I get why they would do it. Just the fact that they do these explicit weird sexual things. And I'm not trying to kink shame anybody. If something gets you off, it gets you off, you can't help it. But it's just like the idea that that's what they're choosing to. It's like, maybe we should start king shaming some
Mm-hmm.
people. But hey, I'm no one to judge. I like good old just.
A lot of times movies have these like sexual like elements that are hard to understand like why they're there.
Yeah,
Like some certain sex scenes that I'm just like, okay, but why? I understand you wanted to put sex in the movie, but why is that helpful to the movie?
yeah,
But this movie, I understood
yeah,
why at
yeah.
every point. Yeah.
And I think one thing this movie does quite well. I'm still trying to like find out if I really believe in it, but I don't have any experience in it, so I'm not sure my position stands super correct. But the beads that she was beaten up with as a child,
Mm-hmm.
she then uses the same beads to have sex at the end of the movie. Those metal,
Oh yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so, in a way, it's kind of like this is like defeating her trauma
yeah,
by like, using her like trigger as a point for enjoyment and
yeah,
euphoria, instead of like this is like traumatizing on you.
yeah. I thought that too. I thought it was a symbol of like freedom because that was the thing that they used to control her. And then the moment she gained freedom, that was used in the moment where she faced like true enjoyment.
True enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. uh
So I
yeah,
think that was intentional.
yeah. And my only like discourse there was like, because I think I'm like, I won't say I, yeah, maybe I'm unaware of it, but I don't have like a lot of trauma. I think I've been lucky enough to have like a pretty good life, not the best. There were obviously things I were wanted, but never being something that, oh, like this is, like a point of fear. And in my vicinity of what I understand is like you're still gonna have trauma, but like,
Mm-hmm.
just like the impact it has on you would be reduced,
Yeah.
right? So it's like kind of the idea, if you use your trauma against itself, you kind of defeat it.
Is that a question?
That was just like my perspective and my understanding of that scene.
Hmm. I feel like it's kind of like similar to like exposure therapy.
Hmm.
You know, like these people, like let's say like you're really scared of spiders,
Yeah.
and your therapist is giving you like all these exercises where you get exposure to spiders, and then one day you're at a point where you can have fun with spiders.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So it's like you're totally free of that trauma.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good example to explain that. Thank you. Okay. I see that. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Exposure therapy. Um cool. I won't go into like if it works, if it doesn't. I don't even know. Maybe be scared of spiders, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie like necessarily would be the same thing as exposure therapy. I think she found her own way of
Yeah.
escaping from her trauma or her limitations.
Yeah, an oppressor.
Exactly. As opposed to like where exposure therapy is, you're intentionally giving you like some things is intentionally giving you exposure to that
Yeah.
thing that you want to get rid of, or the thing that you fear.
I bet destroying his library would have made her really happy.
Yeah, I think she should have like I think even watching him die in his own library.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Right. But I can see just on her face when she sees, like, because that's when she finds out, Suki, that, oh, this is what's been going on. And it's the, yeah, like, it's point that he's making you read in front of all these men, and
Yeah.
your reading classes are actually this. Right, and then she's like really angry, and then she's staring everything. You can see in Hideko's eyes, where you just see like, finally I have somebody who cares for me. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was a great scene. I think the chemistry these two characters have together, I don't know about any other films they've done, but like Kim Min Hee, who plays Hideko, and Kim Tae Ri, who plays
Ter- Terry.
Tae.
Kim Terry.
Kim Tae-ri. Okay.
Yeah.
Kim Tae-ri, who plays Sook-hee,
Yeah.
so well. I think sells off as a couple, I would say.
Suki, the girl who played Suki, she's a great like she's a very big actor now. After this movie, she's done a lot of very big shows. I want to say that another scene that I really like, that I really relate with, is I don't know if you remember, they go into some mountain, and Hideko goes off with the man, and I think that might be the first time they have their first kiss, but it's like in the mountain and they go off, they go on a picnic, and then the couple
Yeah.
leaves, and you can see Suki like sort of Suki runs.
Oh, it's
Suki runs.
it's when the with the art supplies, and he's like,
Yeah. And
"Oh,
she's
you
like
have everything?
carrying all the
Yeah,
things and she's
get
running.
the oils also."
Yeah. And I can just relate with that. That's just like me when I'm like late to something, or like
Yeah,
if I need to really chase something, or if I know that I'm missing any like important information,
yeah,
just like running. And that was like sort of funny, like a
100%.
comical scene.
And her reaction there is what told me that she came here part of a plan and a
Yeah.
ploy, but she wants to be with the mistress.
Yeah, like you can't
Yeah,
fake that.
yeah, and she acts really weirdly when the count is like when the kissing is happening,
Oh yeah.
right? Or when they're in the art room and he's like touching her hand or everything, or just peeking through the
Yeah.
window. You can see that jealousy
Yeah.
of like, no. And yeah, especially after they've just had like sex the night before, and then the next day they're in art, and then she's just like the subject that Suki's painting. Sorry, not Suki, Hideko
Hideko's.
is
Yeah.
painting. Also terrible painter, by the way. Every time they've shown her, like, first it was the peaches, totally bad shapes, and then she's trying to paint Suki, looks so bad.
I don't remember what the painting was like. I should go back and look.
They were so bad, but yeah, and that's where I felt like, no matter now what the twist is, because the first twist happens when you find out the count is involved,
Yeah.
right? And in my head, I go, well, no matter what happens now, Suki and Hideko are gonna get together, because they've not only, it's not just like sex, but it's like that connection, and that person that Hideko has been for Suki and what Suki has been for Hideko is so monumental
Yeah.
that I don't think any that one is, because I'd not seen the movie, so I was going completely blind. So I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna end up being about like, oh, being, you can't love and like a Korean cannot love a Japanese and a Japanese cannot fall down to love a Korean, or it was gonna be like, oh yeah, no, like gayness allowed in the society, or it was just like, because till then you don't even know that the uncle is like a total douchebag. All you know is like he's strict and licks his ink.
Yeah.
And so I kind of knew like they were gonna be like really important with each other, but then there was that twist of like, oh, when they go to the mental hospital and it's like, oh well, it's actually you who's going to the hospital, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. The first the first twist was the most shocking to me, and I think after that it was not that hard to predict.
Predict,
Yeah.
yeah. I also thought about it, and I'll come back to it later. It's just like one of the things that why they didn't get, like, why did they have to get Suki into the hospital? They could have just, because they were good at forging things, anyways. But I guess then they wouldn't have had the passport yet. But they get the passport done afterwards, right? Yeah. When they get the passport to go on the ship to Shanghai,
Yeah.
in the end,
Yeah.
right? It's Suki who arranges everything and get that. So why don't they just, when she leaves for with the count for marriage, why doesn't she just like get rid of the count then?
How 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 would she have gotten rid of the count?
Same way, he gives her the poison drink on her proposal acceptance, right? So she already has the poison, which she uses later on,
Yeah.
and she could have just done it on the wedding night. And he says that if you want him to like sleep for a few hours, and if you want him to sleep for a few more hours, and if you want to kill him, use the whole thing. So I really thought that she was going to use the whole thing, but she didn't. She just used to, because he wakes up and is like pantless with this samurai dude.
Well, I guess for the sake of the movie.
Yeah, plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, cool. Anything else? Any other scenes that called for you?
The tooth scene, that's pretty iconic.
I like that scene. I think that was really well done. It was
Yeah.
really like heartfelt
Yeah.
and intense.
I forget. Is that scene in both parts? Like part one and two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the part one is when it happens, and then she just rubs the tooth, and then goes away, and then the oh no, and then she has to go like Hideko has to go. But in the second, in Hideko's perspective, she asks, because she says like, oh, this is like such a nice bath, and she's like, well, you can join.
But you know
You should come in.
what I thought? So when I first watched it, I was kind of disgusted
Yeah.
because even if you see that in a from a romantic point of view, it's like I have a boyfriend
Yeah.
who I kiss,
Yeah.
but
Ew.
then
Ew.
but I don't want to touch his tooth with my hand.
Well,
That's kind of like
you got a finger to find out.
it's like that's what a toothbrush does, but you're using your hand as a toothbrush for somebody.
Yeah.
That's kind of like weird, but I mean I see that it can be an arousal point, like a point of arousal for a lot of people, but
I think the boobs did that job.
I guess like I don't like
Yeah.
boobs.
Ah,
I
fair.
mean, I like boobs. They're
Yeah.
great, but I mean, they're just not for
Nah,
me.
yeah. He never look at your boyfriend boobs and be like, whoa.
No, no, no,
No,
no, not the.
Yeah. Um, I also find that technology really cool. If you have like a tooth grinder that you can wear as like a finger cap and just zook, zook,
Yeah.
right?
So
Grind it
you
out.
were watching that scene. You didn't think like that's kind of dirty.
No, because she has the cap and it's like meant to be. For me, it was first like, this is weird as hell. Like you're a housemaiden that have gotten to take care of me, and you're giving me a bath. Then I was like, okay, 19th century, okay, everybody was kind of 18th century, sorry, is yeah, okay, everybody was like, they were too lazy to have a bath on their own, so they were getting like bathed by their servants or
Mm-hmm.
maids. Then I was not disgusted but weirded out that she's, because I didn't recognize what she had on the finger, because I don't think
Yeah.
you clearly see it in the first part, but in the second part you do.
Yeah.
And then I just see her. She's like, "Oh, my tooth is sharp and it's cutting me." So I thought that she took an ointment and is just like putting it there, and then she's doing it for way too long, and I was like, "That's weird. Like, what are
It's a
you
long
doing?"
scene.
Yeah, and then she's just like, I'm like, and then she's like looking at her, and then she's looking at her, and then she's getting shy, and she just mentioned about like the booze and she can't stop staring, and then she starts licking her lips, and it's like, okay, this is,
I can see that it's a very well done scene, but for me it was kind of like a funny thing.
yeah, it was hilarious.
It
Yeah, I
was
agree
this,
with
I
that.
don't know if that was the intention.
No, definitely not. The intention
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is erotic and this is
Yeah.
sensual, but
I
no.
definitely didn't see it from that light. It's kind of like I keep talking about Parasite,
Yeah.
but this reminds me of this scene of Parasite
Okay.
where out of nowhere they start like being sexual, and then the woman goes like, oh, clockwise, and like he's like on her nipple, and she's telling him that he should touch it like clockwise,
Not quite.
and she just like says that, and she's like moaning, and it really stuck with me because I'm like, what is the point of saying touch my nipple clockwise?
Clockwise. Oh, okay. Okay, so I might have a theory on this.
Okay.
Women love getting the nipple and the, is it, what's the aviola? No, I'm forgetting the word, but it's like the
Breast.
breast. No, I know, but the breast has like this dot, and then it has a nipple on that dot. Was that
Okay.
dot? Some enjoy getting that massaged by pressure,
Yeah.
so it's like you're kind of like pressing the nipple in. And I'm no sex guru, but but I have had that where it's like, oh, and they really enjoy when you just kind of like clockwise.
Okay, okay, clockwise.
Yeah, clockwise.
I guess
Yeah.
that's why. But so that scene was
But it's
a
odd.
point of like, what is the point of this scene? And I had that thought on this scene,
Yeah.
but I do get it. Like after watching it a couple times, like I
Yeah.
do understand it, and I think it's a very
Yeah.
well done
Well,
scene.
but it's, yeah, it's well done and it's fitting, but it's kind of forced. Like,
Mm.
I say forced because if it wasn't there, the story doesn't really change
Yeah.
that much, right? And yeah, I love their scene before the bath when they're wearing the corset
Mm.
and she's trying all the pretty things the lady
Ah,
has,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And then she's like, "This is so tight, I can't breathe." And then you see the next shot is her with her leg on her back,
Yeah.
tightening it even more.
Yeah.
And I always find it like, even in like Victorian era,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that's a scene that is like shot for shot, like from the novel,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
can see that.
corset and just being like suffocated.
Yeah. But the tooth scene, I think even more than just like a sexual point of view, it's also like she's so sheltered. She's like so not exposed to the world, and she's so clueless. So it's almost like a baby having her tooth brushed by the mom. It's like she can.
But you read some books, man.
It's just some books, yeah.
Yeah, like a very specific kind of books.
Yeah. But I can see like they're them trying to portray that sort of innocence
Yeah.
from that scene.
Yeah, because they mentioned something, right, where it's like, oh, when he's like, "Oh, you look mesmerizing,"
Mm,
and oh, that means you want to touch my boobs.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure so many Korean or Japanese or whoever would have seen it would have gone to like women in their life and you're mesmerizing. I would have
That
seen
means
like
that means you want to touch my
boob
boobs.
exactly and seen if like that
I
worked
don't
or
know if
not.
that ever happened.
And okay, fair enough. Maybe it's just me who's crazy and tries
Yeah.
like things I see in a movie. This is pretty smooth, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
This is me. Fair enough. Um, oh, when he rolls that cigarette after painting that lady on it,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
When he rose it?
Yeah, when he's sitting with the uncle,
Uh-huh.
and the uncle is like, he's like boasting off, like, oh, every lady wants to throw herself at me. I'm like so cool and so
Yeah.
sexy, and then the uncle is like, well, who's the lady who hasn't like who's denied you? And he says, Hideku, right?
Oh.
And then he like takes us his tobacco and he's like, why, as a noble man, do you smoke cigarettes? And then he opens it, takes out a paper, draws a
Mm-hmm.
naked lady, makes like a vag and like two nipples, puts in tobacco, rolls it up, and then smokes it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's pretty baller,
Yeah.
man. And then when he talks to her towards their when they actually get married and they run away, he's so weird, man.
Yeah.
Right?
I can see that you as a man would like that scene.
The
The cigarette.
tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, I agree. That is a maybe. Yeah, my biology was
Yep.
satisfied from that, but everything else he did, he was just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, oh, I know what you want. You like it forced, and it's like, nope, nope. We gotta
Even till the
drop
moment
that.
he dies.
Even till the moment he dies, and he had been kind of okayish behaving because he's very open. Like, I don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
I want money,
Money, yeah.
right? And yeah, and then they get married, and then yeah, and then he just like switches, like, okay, no, I want you now, and then it's like super weird about it. Uh, I was kind of also very happy when he died. He's like, screw you, man. You try to screw with all these other people, and look
Yeah.
at you now. This is where you end up. Mm, okay, we're close to the wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, now, something we do is called our bitch fest. Okay, here we're gonna drop all the politeness about the movie, things we loved and things we cared about, and really nitpick on things we didn't like at all.
Okay.
Right, and I know this is like a masterpiece, so it's like hard to pick, but what do you have for things you didn't like at all, or like logical flaws or continuity errors that you were like, this is annoying?
Okay. First thing, I think I mentioned a couple times that the movie is very long.
Hmm.
It's a very long movie, and I think having it divided into parts makes it so that after watching it multiple times, I I really see why the movie is done like that.
Yeah,
But an average person is not gonna do that.
agreed.
So it makes it harder to really pay attention because we're seeing scenes we've already seen before, and there's not a lot of like progression in the storyline.
Yeah,
They're showing you the same scenes from a different perspective. So yeah, it deepens your understanding of the scenes, but at the same time, like people want to see something else happen,
yeah,
right?
new information, more of new
Exactly.
information than like just repetition.
Yeah, I think part two is the only one that's like very similar to part one.
Yeah,
Unless you're really paying attention or watching it for a couple more times, you don't really notice even the differences
yeah.
in some scenes. So harder to follow. Um, I also mentioned that the tooth thing. Yeah,
Okay, I love that.
that's like
Yeah.
It didn't do it for me. It just was
Yeah.
funny.
So not smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last thing was I've already mentioned all these before, but I didn't really understand the death of the uncle until I watched it
Yeah.
again, and then read some explanation online.
How he died.
Yeah, like I didn't know he killed himself. That's probably my bad because maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Hmm.
But even after finding out, I was like, he killed himself. Like, why would he? So it kind of didn't match up.
But doesn't he mention that? Because he he
He's
he he
it's
asks like, "Oh, you don't have windows," and uh, adding to my earlier point, like I expected a lot of things to happen. His all his cigarettes were white except for two blue ones,
yeah
right? And then he smokes all three of them in the car on the
yeah
way, and then he's like, "Oh, you don't have windows," and then he mentions that I think he talks about like mercury in
he
the
does,
end,
yeah.
right?
And
He mentions it.
then there was also a point where the con man, he makes a comment like I'm you're poisoning me or something, and the uncle says something like, you don't think I'm doing it to myself too, or
Yeah.
something like there was dialogue along those lines. Again, it's hard because I watch in Korean,
Oh,
so
true.
I've never read those subtitles before, so I don't
Yeah.
know how they put it in the subtitles. But so the reason why it was hard for me to understand his death is because nothing from the story really made me lead to him being motivated to kill himself.
Hmm.
He was just the abuser, and then suddenly he's killing himself. So
The uncle.
yeah, uncle.
Oh, okay. I see. So you were just like, oh, this guy was just like talking, and then he just died on his own.
Yeah, that's what I thought at the in the beginning.
Ah, okay. I see now.
Yeah, and then things didn't make sense, so I read some explanations,
Yeah.
and then I watched again, and I was like, ah, this is what it is.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay, it makes sense for this guy, like the Count Fujiwara, to kill himself. Because I don't know, like I've been hit in the balls before, but like getting them all cut so that somebody can keep them in a jar on his wall, I don't want that.
Yeah,
I would just be like, kill me.
yeah. But that's pretty much it. I really enjoy the movie, and I do like movies like this. I don't like light movies.
Hmm.
I like movies that make me think.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
very interesting.
yeah, and I don't watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You can relate. But
Yeah.
I rarely watch movies. I watch a lot of shows.
True.
So
Is there a reason why you, or is it just
it's hard for me to choose.
choose? Okay.
Yeah, there are so
Yeah.
many options. And you mentioned earlier you don't use like ratings and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of the reason why I find it hard to choose is because I feel like because I don't watch a lot of movies, this is like a special occasion thing. Like if I'm watching a movie, it's like a thing.
So might as well watch the highest rated.
Yeah, like I want to watch a good movie.
Oh,
I feel like it's a waste of time if it's like a mediocre movie.
true. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of why we started this podcast, so people don't have to watch the shitty movies. We just watch them, and they can,
exactly. And
listen
you
to
tell
us.
them. Yeah, I kind of feel like I watch a lot of like not podcasts,
Yeah,
but I watch a lot of YouTube videos that are like reviewing movies
movies. Yeah,
before I watch them.
yeah. I've started doing that more, but always after I watch it the first time. Cause
But you know that I read spoilers.
yeah, that I do.
Yeah,
Which
so
still, by the way, don't let me fool you. Still blows my mind, and I find it weird and annoying. It's as bad as fingering the mouth.
no, I think that's worse. But I mean I even go to the extent of reading what happens at the end of the
End
movie.
of the movie. Oh.
And if I don't like what happens, I just don't watch it.
Wow. Wow. That makes me really uneasy. but
I
but
can see that.
but that's yeah. Hey, everybody has to find their own God.
Yeah.
Everybody follows their own path and enjoys their own way. And I do also understand that because you nothing sucks more when the payoff is not good as the amount of time and energy you've spent waiting
Mm-hmm.
for it, and then you get hit with like a bad ending. You're like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. Like the most recent movie I saw, like other than Old Boy, which I talked about, is the
Parasite.
no. I've only seen that. I think the last time I saw that was like last year.
Last year.
I've seen it like twice. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Boy in the striped pajamas.
I've seen that movie like 6 times,
Yeah,
and I saw it again like a couple weeks ago.
it's that good.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's that good. Have you not seen it?
No.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's that good, but I like the theme of the movie.
Hmm.
Like if I like a movie, I'll like it every time I see
Every
it.
time you see it.
If I don't like it, I
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, rewatchability I think is my biggest factor in a
Yeah.
movie that I consider that okay, I think this is good is like, can I watch it again?
This though is a commitment to
This is
rewatch.
I after a bit, maybe a few years later, when you're with like somebody else and you're like, okay, here's a cool movie, but even then, I might be hesitant to
But you should see Old Boy.
Old Boy.
You'll
I think
see
I'll do
like that
Old Boy
similar
and
like plot
Parasite.
twist.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna like watch those movies and then have another sit down with you and like
Yeah.
talk about like, hey, I finally saw Parasite.
Yeah, you should see Parasite.
Hmm. But I'll tell you the things that
Yeah.
were like I picked out. In the beginning of the movie, the aunt,
Mm-hmm.
the old, not the aunt, the old maid with the
Yeah.
lantern. First of all, she's walking around in a lantern, whereas the house kind of looks pretty lit with light everywhere. So that for me was like really like okay, this lantern is just like a visual effect that the director added for like look cool, man. Uh, Also, not we don't find out what happens to her. She was equally cunning. She was equally evil. She's the one who got her aunt kind of killed, and she's the one who got uh, Hideko into this reading erotica, right? Kind of forced down. She was because there's that scene which honestly a really good scene to show like power. Uh, yeah, maybe I'll try and no, I don't want to do a compliment sandwich. I just want to hate. I don't like the sandwich idea. But a good scene that they've done, the director's done, is like whenever the guys are talking to the woman, they're kind of shown on like a higher ground,
Hmm.
right? So it's like on
Like
stairs.
visually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
visually. So the camera angle is kind of like this way, and they're looking down on the girl,
Huh.
and especially on the stairs is often where it's like if you have more power. And that scene was really cool when she's slapping the maids when
Yeah.
she's a little kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And she's on the stair and then she's slapping them tick, 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 tick. And then
Mm.
the crazy old maid comes, and then she walks up on a higher step and then smacks
Yeah.
her, right? So I'm like, okay, this is a cool metaphor or like uh, symbolic image. But the fact that
You'll see a lot of that in Parasite.
yeah, you were waiting for it. Damn, I really gotta see Parasite. um, but the fact that we don't see anything that happens to her from there
Yeah,
on,
that's true.
I
Yeah.
want to know. Maybe I'll have to see it again. But is the octopus kind of eating her or something? I don't know if that's it really makes sense. But
I
it's
guess
like
they just used her as a background piece.
yeah, because somebody's come and destroyed his whole library. She's the only one that's left behind to take care of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's probably in a lot of trouble. I hope so. She was really bad and evil.
Yeah.
Right. So that was one. I won't eat your head on that alone. The nut house plot
Yeah.
of sending Suki to the nut house, it made sense that okay, we'll just get you stuck here, but can a powerful and rich man who has all these connections not rescue his daughter from a nut house?
But that's not his daughter.
Exactly, but the same name. So when he would have had to look for her, news would be, oh, the daughter is here in a nut house.
The uncle?
Yeah, the uncle, right? And then
So
he,
his niece.
his niece, yeah. His niece is in a nut house, and then he would have sent men to the nut house and then realize, oh, she's not my niece. But he could have probably taken her out.
I guess the idea of putting her in the nut putting someone in the nut house is she wanted to run away and she was worried about her uncle trying to find her. So her idea was that if he thinks that she's in the nut house,
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't, because he is powerful, like you said.
Yeah,
If he wanted to find her and she's outside, if he wanted to find her and she's anywhere, he would be able to find her. But
yeah.
if he thinks that she's in the mental hospital, he's
Then,
not gonna want to find her
I see. He wants to keep his,
because
yeah,
she's crazy.
image, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's not gonna put
Yeah.
in the effort to find her
Okay. I
because he has the power to find her if he wanted to.
wanted to, right? Yeah. And then the fact that the only, like, she just runs away with the fire,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that was kind of like plot armor where it's like, okay, it's only made sense because they were meant to be together, right? Where it's like, the
Yeah.
fire happened and she's like, okay, locks and everybody. And oh my God, those people walk in with like the masks to be like, it's a fire, right? And they don't even have like a fire extinguisher or
Yeah.
anything.
I think these are like little things that make me say that earlier, that it's sort of an idealistic
Movie. Yeah.
um, plot. It's
Yeah.
like we want them to be able to run away,
Run away.
obviously,
Well,
and it happens.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It leaves you with a few what
Hmm.
moments. What else did I have? Um, oh, the final scene where
They're on the
Count
boat.
kills, they're both dead.
Yeah.
Yay. Mercury poisoning doesn't work like that,
Okay.
where like you'll fall really ill before you die, and it will be days, if not weeks.
Mm,
Uh, Second, since he was the one smoking the cigarette, how did he die after the uncle? Because his impact would have been a lot more compared to, say, like if I smoke say a joint, right? I would get high a lot faster before you would get high of like second high smoke, secondhand smoke.
so this I read something about this like similar thing. But when you smoke a cigarette, the cigarettes like joints don't have filters. Like joints have filters, but cigarettes have filters that is like a sponge. So it filters out certain chemicals. So depending on the property of the chemical, because cigarettes obviously don't just have nicotine, they have tar and a lot of other
Yeah,
things. So there are certain chemicals that are heavier for the secondhand smoker, and one like nicotine, more of it
yeah,
would go to the smoker.
smoker.
So
Yep. That
something like that could be a thing, but I don't think they thought that deep.
yeah.
Maybe they did.
Yeah, maybe it did,
Yeah.
and I'm always curious. That's why I started like this bitch fest section. It usually comes up as just like I'm a hater who just hates on people's work, which is kind of true sometimes. But But yeah, that's a really cool explanation of like, yeah, they do have filters,
Yeah.
and the filters do block out like a lot of like harmful chemicals that come from tobacco in general,
Yeah.
and cigarettes have. So yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I was, yeah, again happy they were dead. And the final one I had was just, if the uncle
Yeah.
had total autonomy over Hideko,
Mm-hmm.
why didn't he do anything? Not that I wanted to, but why didn't he do anything sexual with Hideko? And if you compare it to say 2025, where now we have like OnlyFans and everything, he's just making her read porn.
I wouldn't know their like the director's intention in that,
Hmm.
but what I would say to that would be a woman's. It's in his interest to keep her at the highest value,
Hmm.
and her value goes down
If
if she does it with anyone, whether it's
anyone,
him or anyone else.
true.
And
Oh, because then he explains in that story also, right? Like, what would you give to have 10 minutes
yeah,
with her? Yeah.
yeah. So
And I bet a lot of people would have seen that scene and imagine like, oh, that was actually happening,
yeah, that's what I thought too. And
right? But it's no, it's like that's the story, and then they're feeling that they're in part of the story, and then she's the girl in the story.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I think maybe that's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah. Like that would, yeah, yeah. It would be like just a bad product, a spoiled
Yeah,
product.
I don't think. I don't think he saw her in that light. I think he saw her as a product
Yeah, yeah. Because he,
that he developed.
yeah, he, I, because there's no mention of him like having like sexual urges. All he wanted to do was kind of like be Japanese and be a
Yeah,
man of influence.
yeah.
And he was getting to do that by selling these like books, right? It's like,
And she was making him do that.
yeah, allowing him to kind of reach his goal. It's like,
Yeah.
20 years ago, guy selling porn at university.
And also, if he allowed her to sleep with any of these men, even if they were gonna give him money, her book readings won't be as popular anymore because
Yeah,
she's not
yeah.
she's not a virgin. So yeah, it's in his interest to keep her clean.
Keep her, yeah, pure.
Hmm.
Agreed. Yeah.
But I guess there's also the element. Also the fact that if he did anything to her, no one would know.
Yeah. But I think he didn't want to, because he wanted a reader, right? Like he could
Mm,
have been abusing the aunt as well, but he doesn't. He She comes and asks him, right? Like, well, I was told that when you die, something happens and then you poop your pants. But my aunt, who was hanging, never pooped her pants,
mm-hmm.
right? When we saw her, right? And so then he takes her to the basement and then shows her something that we as an audience don't see. And we're like, okay, what could have it been that, oh, now that, and it's probably either the octopus or the collection of organs that he
Mm-hmm.
has, but either or, just something that Hideko is definitely scared and traumatized,
Yeah.
right? It was also strange that they didn't really go down the basement to, maybe they needed a key or something, to go down the basement and destroy everything in there while they were destroying the library. Yeah, they didn't have time. Uh, True. But I saw that scene of like somebody hanging themselves on the tree again coming, because when you see it in part one where they're going for the marriage, right? He's the uncle leaves and then he's like, "You have 7 days of your freedom, but don't forget about the basement."
Yeah.
Right? The next scene is them running out at night. No, running out the next day to get married,
Yeah.
right? With the count. The count is going to meet them for the boat. While they're running, the rope is there on the tree,
Yeah.
right? And so you already see the rope and you're like, okay, well, this is the same rope that in the beginning when she's opening all the hats, she finds that box with the rope. And then you find out, oh, this is the rope that the aunt killed herself with. And so this rope is important to her, and the only place you would get it is there. So why is it on a tree? And then you're like, okay, then something would have happened with Hideko that,
Mm.
it's back on the tree. And so it kind of like, I guess, a faint effort of like foreshadowing.
I thought she would hang herself at
Yeah. I would,
points.
I, yeah. I don't want to say I would have, but yeah, I don't blame her. Like,
Yeah, if she did.
if she did. And it
Yeah.
was so funny when like she does it and then uh Suki catches her and
Ah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then Suki's like, oh, we're gonna like put you in the hospital to take all your money, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, and oh my god, I while I was watching this I realized this because it's like when I watch a Bollywood movie, I know Hindi, so I know what they're talking about, and I know how off the subtitles are. So I can't even imagine how off the subtitles were off for this
It's
one,
always very off.
right? And
But let me tell you, Parasite subtitles are really good. They're really good. And like she got a lot of like she's actually the translator,
yeah,
like she got a lot of props from like Korean
yeah.
audience.
I think if you translate, we used to have this in our English class in IB when we used to do like books and all and do papers on them. Oh, lost in translation used to be my favorite point in talking about like, hey, these books were not written in English. Some guy who was like broken English, he wrote it. Now you're making me translate what he wrote, and now you're translating what I wrote. So come on, that's not fair,
Yeah.
right?
But this is from 2016.
2016.
Yeah, the older ones have worse
I can imagine. And I think that's where I
subtitles.
think AI will come in and be kind of helpful.
Yeah, and then you see like every time they swear,
Oh,
it's like you like they're like I mostly noticed this from like English to Korean.
hmm.
There is a word in Korean that they always put for like you fucker, you dumbass, you
Yeah.
asshole. It's always that one word.
Yeah. What is it?
제기랄.
Check
And
it
I have never heard anyone use that in real life.
out. Hey, maybe you could be the first next time you go to Korea. And they're like, what?
Like nobody says that word.
Nobody says that.
Yeah.
Is it like a forbidden word?
No, it's
No?
just like people maybe say it in books.
Oh, not part of like vocal language, kind
Yeah.
of. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, it's always wild. Oh my god, imagine the sex scenes, right? Especially when you get that whole camera on her before she's going in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like, yeah, weird to just like see it in English. Oh, it will make me. She doesn't say vet or something. She says something else about like how it's, yeah, a lot of like attempted, like I'm sure it's like profound literature words that they're talking about while eating
Yeah.
each other out, but that translated to English is just like, yeah, like, oh, it will be as a river or something like that.
When I'm watching it, I'm mostly like paying attention in Korean. Obviously, I'm listening to the
Oh yeah.
Korean, and certain moments I look at the subtitles, and it's even worse because I'm like I'm used to the flow of like how the everything is in the Korean.
Yeah,
So I don't know what they said before, but then the English subtitle, it's like something completely off.
completely off. Yeah, blows my mind.
Yeah.
Okay then. We reached our end almost. The last thing I ask people to do is be kind or not, and kind of, you know, they say how beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, or something like that,
Okay.
right? So I want you to, between 1 and 10,
Mm-hmm.
rate this movie.
I'll say an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Nice. Uh, I think I'm gonna go with a 6 for now. Um, I might increase my score. I see myself maybe increasing my score if I watch it again, but I also see myself decreasing the score if I watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna, yeah, I landed on 6 somehow, because I was like, it's not bad for a 5, but it was in, there were enough like what if moments that I ended up on a, not a 7 or 8,
Yeah.
right? But
That's fair.
on its own, like cinema wise, it was just a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie I find it hard to like find, and I think it's really cool that now I know that you're always finding the good movies. So I think I'm gonna listen to your taste more and watch da Parasite.
Also, I do also tend to convince myself a movie is good if the reviews are good.
Music good.
So if
Yeah,
I watch a movie and the reviews are good and I don't like it,
yeah.
I that would be my motivation to watch it again because it's good. It's a good movie,
Good
so
movie.
I need to
Yeah,
like it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Bro, that happened to me literally the first time when I watched it. I came up with my score, and then I was like, okay, now let's do my, like, writing the episode up. And literally, as I was doing it, the whole time I was just like, no, I'm supposed to love this one. It's 96 and 91% rated.
Yeah.
But there's just something inside of me that is just not satisfied to give it like a 9, or like my, like, yeah. And then I told Sahil about, like, bro, I saw this movie. This is what I feel. This is what happens. And yeah, when Sahil was like, oh, like, some people are bad storytellers, I was like, oh, maybe he's talking about me, and that's fair. Maybe I just didn't tell the story correctly. And then we talked about it, and there are a lot of parts, especially like the symbolism, it's just the director knows what he wants, and he's very, what do you call it, like, focused about, like, this is what I want, and this I'm gonna do it, and this is what I'm gonna show. Like, even the moon in the end becomes a full moon when they're on that ship and
Hmm.
turns into the painting on the door,
Everything is intentional. Yeah.
right? It's just like mind-blowing and like
Yeah.
super cool. So yeah, maybe I'll give it a rewatch sometime in the future, and then maybe
Yeah.
my score changes. But yeah, for
You can
now,
treat it like a show. Watch part 1. Some other day, watch part 2.
two. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah, and maybe I would want to watch not the extended version, because maybe the extended version has like those 20 minutes of extra, like, oh, these are beautiful scenes, and then it's like
Maybe.
maybe I lose, because my main issue I found was I lost myself in the flow of the story, and I felt disconnected, and then I had to, like, okay, no, let's come back,
Yeah.
so that part.
Yeah. I think the part 2 was where a lot of that happened
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Yeah, like, same thing, same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I would watch it again. I feel like it's one of those movies where you watch it again, discover new things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Cool. You have any final words for us?
Bye.
Bye. Well, thanks for sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a long one, but I think a really good one. Also,
Oh, watch Parasite.
good movie. Parasite. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parasite is on our list now.
Old boy.
Old Boy and Parasite. Yeah. I was amazed because I've not always been a fan of K drama because
Yeah.
it looks like really bright lighting and really artificial to me.
But like,
Okay, I've touched a nerve.
so K drama
Yeah.
is Korean drama, right? So
Yeah.
there's like mainstream K drama,
Yeah.
which is like heavily romance focused. It's always like some poor girl gets
Yeah.
on with some rich guy,
Yeah.
romance, like super fancy
Yeah.
clothing
Like cute
and
things
like
and yeah.
mansions and everything. But that is just like what is like most famous among foreigners. But me,
Yeah.
like as a Korean person,
You watch like actual Korean drama.
yeah, like
Yeah.
some of my favorite ones, like some of them have like no romance and they're like, you know, like crime or there's so
Hmm.
many different kinds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's worth trying giving a try.
Giving it a shot. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cause I've been around. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I will give it another shot. Why not?
just don't watch like some stupid ones.
100%. Yeah. I hate love. Cheat. Ugh. Just
Yeah,
finger
like
my
love is
feet.
fine, but if it's like a little part of the show, but
Yeah, but if it's like the whole, it's like when people make their hobbies like their whole personality. Yeah, kind of that.
kind
Like,
of like that. Yeah,
I don't want that.
yeah. So yeah, watch Parasite, Old Boy,
And K drama,
and K drama.
the actual K drama
But Parasite, I think, has really good subtitles. So
subtitles.
yeah, because I do find like even I always like tell my friends that because a lot of my friends also say like I don't want to watch subtitles
Hmm.
because it's not the same,
Yeah,
and I'm always like it is the same thing,
yeah,
but it's really not because you're reading,
yeah,
and on top of that, the subtitles are not super accurate.
yeah. Because the
So
subtitles don't capture the emotion behind those
exactly,
words and
yeah,
sentences. That's what I've seen in like Bollywood movies, and so I agree.
yeah,
But I always do audio of the native language of the creator and then the
English subtitle.
English subtitles.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't do it without the subtitles. Then it just like I'm just
yeah. No,
yeah.
you obviously
Yeah. Because I know
you
some
gotta
people
understand.
so I know some people like who've told me like, oh, you gotta watch the Avatar but like no subtitles. You just
The
watch
Avatar, the movie.
the Airbender, like the show,
Oh,
animated
the
show.
anime. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
but I wouldn't understand. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But just never don't do like a dub.
No, don't do dub.
Yeah, dub is like so weird. Dub
No.
is like serial killer.
Honestly, like I don't watch anime, so like I'm biased when I say this,
Hmm.
but I feel like if you're watching an anime, you can probably do dubbed because it's cartoon anyway.
It's the mouth.
I guess the mouth wouldn't match,
Yeah,
but don't you
Eh,
think like certain people like you can kind of tell what their voice is gonna sound like with their face?
but the dub's not what I expect to ever sound like. The dub always throws you off because the dub is like
Exactly.
either like too excited or
Yeah.
not, and so it will be like a serious moment, and I'm not gonna use like a sound and pretend to be like Japanese doing Goku, but like it would just sound like he's in a tense situation, but then he will sound like, "Oh, my shoes are untied,"
Yeah, I see
right?
that. Yeah.
And then it's like, no. And it's fine. Like that's how I grew up watching TV, was like just having the dub
Yeah.
yeah, like the dub actor as the original for me, because I never knew like, oh, this is in a different language, right? When I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I didn't understand. I was like, okay, this guy is, yeah, that just how animation
Yeah.
works.
When I was in Ghana, there's this Indian show. It's called Kumkum Bagya,
Kung Kum Bag. It sounds like a soap opera.
but it's Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kumkum Bagya, and it was dubbed in the local language in Ghana.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the mouth would be saying stuff in Hindi,
Yeah.
but I'm hearing like their language.
Bumbaclat.
I don't think that's from Ghana.
Okay, let's end it there. And that's a wrap. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't be account Fujiwara. Don't fake it. Hit follow, drop us a rating, and tell us what movie you'd like us to unwrap next. Unless it's Parasite. Until next time, keep your secrets safe and your bookmarks hidden. This has been In Between the Scenes.